Well, just getting in. Bad traffic. We got a lot to get into. Everyone in Quick I appreciate y'all tuning on in. Let's go.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG it's coming. 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 Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
Thank you guys again for tuning on in. I appreciate y'all's presence. We're going to pick up where we left off yesterday. I don't want to give a long introduction because we got a lot to get into, and we're somewhat behind in the Umar Johnson coverage. Thank you guys. Everyone started Cook Chat. Thanks to the mods too for being here. Everyone, I appreciate it. There is a poll question. Is Umar Johnson stressed about FDMG? I think it's important right now, especially where this Umar Johnson saga, where it has got at the point in which it's gotten to at this juncture. We have Umar Johnson, who in 2010 said that the school was going to open in 2013. He started raising money for the St. Paul school scam in 2014. He was receiving donations in the form of land in 2012. He's changed the grand opening date based upon my research, at least, well, how many was it? I can't even remember how many times. Was it 30? Something like that. Because there's years where he gives 3, in some cases 4 different grand opening dates. The pressure of making these promises and then not fulfilling those promises, that has to be stressful. Thinking of excuses perpetually has to be stressful. Figuring out different ways to get money out of people has to be stressful. I think Umar is stressed. Yeah, it's 30 years. Thank you, other kids. It's 30 something. It was 31 or something like that. 31 or 32. I did all the research, and it's more. It has to be more. That's just based upon my research. At least 30, 31 different grand opening dates since 2010. And again, in 2019, Umar Johnson, he acquires his abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. Here we are 7 years and 3 months later, and not one black child has been educated. 7 years, that's a long time. That's a really long time. And from 2010 to 2026, we're talking about 16 years later. That's a long time too. So the pressure of all of this, the stress of trying to come up with excuse after excuse, but also I think the stress, the financial stress, because people don't support FDMG financially like they used to. And he knows that. It has to be stressful. So the poll question is, Umar Johnson stressed about FDMG? 78% said yes, 22% said no. Okay, so make sure you get your vote in during this live stream. Real quick, one could argue that he doesn't care one way or the other as long as he's getting money. Okay, that's a fair argument. And so he's not necessarily stressed about FDMG per se. He's more stressed about getting money. Okay, I would agree with that. Okay, all right. Okay. I think he's stressed about FDMG. I think he's stressed about his life. I think he's stressed about the financial situation. I think he's stressed about a whole bunch of things. I think he's stressed about trying to find new excuses. I'm interested in seeing what the next excuse is going to be. All right. Okay, so we're going to pick up with the video that Umar, he did a live stream in his mama's closet 2 days ago. We're going to pick up with that. We're at the 32-minute mark, and I want to try to, if we can get through all of it during this live stream, that'd be great. That way we get reset for next week. I have quite a few, we're behind, videos that we got to get to dealing with Umar. Daxter says, damn it, what is Manjaw up to now? I took a vacation day, night off, so I might be able to listen the whole show. Okay. Lenon Shame on Jermaine. Yeah, it is shameful what he has done and continues to do. It's amazing. I don't see how he could. I just don't get it. I don't see how anyone could. I wonder how does he feel about himself as a person? I don't think he cares. I think he's a sociopath, so I don't think it really matters to him. But I think a normal human being, if you're doing all these harmful things to people, you're lying to people, you're manipulating people, you're exploiting people, and you've been doing it for decades now, and particularly dealing with this FDMG school scam, we're talking at least 16 years. Wouldn't you feel bad about it? Umar, no remorse whatsoever. So he doesn't have shame like that. I don't think he has shame. I think sometimes he feels insulted and it can come off as shame. But I don't think he feels shame for all of the horrible things that he has done and continues to do, because I don't think it even registers in his mind. It's a psychological issue more than anything. I think he's a sociopath. I think he's borderline psychopath. Okay, Daxter, enjoy the show. And thank you for the super chat. And also, thanks to everyone who's been supportive of the show. I really do appreciate it. Thanks to all of our members as well. I appreciate all of the support. Okay. Let's get right on into it, because I want to make sure we make some progress here on this video right here. So we'll pick up where we left off yesterday. Here we go.
Occupying a life in which we exercise no rights, privileges, or protections.
What's up, Sly? What's up, man?
Dr. Umar, why are you bringing this up?
For the sake of logic, Francisca.
What difference does it make whether we are denizens or citizens?
Sports bet.
You know why it matters?
What's up, Laurie?
If the Supreme Court takes up the 14th Amendment and overturns your right to...
Okay, yeah, you're working on finals. Okay, all right, well, good luck with it. Keep going. Yeah, excellent.
Equal protection under the law. If the U.S. Supreme Court takes up...
What's up, Big Mix?
The 14th Amendment and rules that African people are not entitled to equal protection under the law.
What is he talking about? Why would that? Anyway, someone broke this down too. Let me see if I can find that comment. They posted it yesterday.
You will be stripped of your citizenship that you don't have anyway, and you will be returned to the state of a denizen. And if you are returned to the state of a denizen, you are basically a 21st century slave.
Yeah, he just talking crazy. He ain't talking about nothing.
Which also means that the Dred Scott decision is back in full effect. I don't think y'all listening to me. I said if the Supreme Court overturns the 14th Amendment for African people, Black freedmen, equal protection under the law, if the Supreme Court overturns equal protection for Black freedmen.
Yeah, Rocket Asaki. Yeah, you're right. I figured out why Umar's hairline is looking crazy. He is going bald. No offense. Yeah. I mean, I started going bald when I was maybe about 19, 20, maybe 20. Yeah, maybe 20, maybe 21, and it was just a little bit. I could tell. But yeah, this has been going on with Umar for quite some time now. His edge up is a little shaky as well. But we're not gonna get into that. Thanks, Rocky Asaki. Let me read this comment to you guys real quick. I won't share the person's name because I don't know if they would want me to do that. But they said regarding his comment on the 14th Amendment, the Supreme Court cannot overturn a constitutional amendment. Because the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, the court only has the power to interpret it, not change or delete its text. An amendment can only be changed or removed through he's talking about an amendment, or she can only be changed or removed through the formal amendment process outlined in Article 5, which requires 2/3 vote in both houses of Congress or National Convention and ratification by 3/4 of the states. Umar hasn't said anything about this. Maybe he will later on. He's peddling a baseless scare tactic rooted in the world of a single unnamed Southern politician for money. All right. Okay. Now, again, I'm not into politics like that, but for those of you guys who are, what's the validity of what this person is saying? Okay. Sounds more coherent than what Umar's talking about, but I want to see if Umar actually brings up how a Supreme Court cannot overturn a constitutional amendment. Right. Okay.
Under the 14th Amendment, the Dred
Oh, okay.
Scott case automatically becomes the ruling law for all black freedmen in America.
Yeah, I was just going to say that about the 14th Amendment. He's pushing fear out of that amendment. There's a lot that has to go in before the 14th Amendment could ever be changed. Yeah, well, that's what this person was saying too.
If you haven't read the Dred Scott case from cover to
Rumble with the JD, it was a lawyer. That's 100% accurate. Okay, I'll take your word for it. All right, and excuse my ignorance. I'm not going to pretend that I'm, the propaganda from Umar is ridiculous. Yeah. He get it in Mama Claus, and he start running his mouth. Anyway, let's keep going. Thank you, guys.
Cover, you better read the Dred Scott case from cover to cover. Because if the Supreme Court overturns the 14th Amendment for black people, the Dred Scott case.
Umar has a little bottle of Seagram's gin in his pocket.
Dred Scott Supreme Court decision will become the ruling law for black
Francisco. Freedom. Yeah, he has a degree in political
science. Let
me
read it to you. Dred Scott was born in the same county as the
thanks,
prophet
Miranda.
Nat
And
Turner.
also thanks, Daxter.
Dred Scott was born in the same county as the prophet Nat Turner.
What does that got to do with anything?
Dred Scott was born in the same county as the prophet Nat Turner, Southampton County, Virginia. But slavery would take him to Missouri. And Dred Scott's slave owner would take him into a free territory. And once Dred Scott gets to the free territory, he sues for the right to be free because slavery is not legal in that free state.
One thing that I noticed about Umar, he's so stuck in the past. A lot of what he's talking about, and a lot of what he says, it's like he believes that we are all in like the 1920s or the 1930s or 40s or 50s and even 60s. Y'all know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
And Supreme Court Chief Justice Roger
you missed that part, Courtney.
May he burn in eternal hell.
Yeah, and again, I'm not into politics. Okay, I would like to be more informed. Okay, but I've never been into part of it is my upbringing. You guys don't know I was raised Jehovah's Witness at least up until probably about maybe 14. But I was never into it. Like I detested it in point of fact, even as a child. These days I don't care. You believe in whatever you want to, but back then it just was horrible. For me as a child. So one of the things that at least back then, it may not be the case now, but at least where it was called Kingdom Hall. The Kingdom Hall that we went to, what they would preach is not to participate in worldly things, and that included politics, voting. And I know there's people who've argued against this, but there was at least propaganda wherein the idea or notion of even going to college wasn't something that you would necessarily have to aspire towards, because a lot of it was the end of the world is coming soon, what they call Armageddon. I know people say, well, Armageddon and the end of the world is not the same thing. Well, symbolically speaking, it is, but that's not the point. The point is that civics and that kind of stuff, that's not something that was really, really pushed. Okay. So anyway, the South Carolina cannot overturn constitutional amendments. And then again, state versus federal. Umar's not mentioning the difference between the two. Okay, I know that. Okay, let's go.
On March the 6th, the same day as Ghana's independence.
Hi, Lenon, how are you? Who made Jermaine an authoritarian on politics? Himself, just like with everything else. And again, he does have a bachelor's. He got a double major, undergraduate degree, double major in political science and psychology. So he speaks as if he's some sort of a politician or political pundit or something like that. But he's not well informed, and I can tell that I'm not even into politics like that. Okay. Thanks, Queendom.
But more than 100 years before Ghana's independence, on March the 6th, Supreme Court
FDMG
Chief
Armageddon.
Justice Roger B. Taney offered the majority opinion for the Supreme Court, and I'm going to read it to you now.
Yeah, Kilo, how's it going, guys? How's it going, Kilo? So someone's going to write a book about this whole Umar Johnson saga based on Lenon's timeline at this point. Stuff is off the trails with this guy. I could do it myself, though. I can use my notes from the documentary and write a book. I just don't have time. That's my biggest challenge in life right now is time. Marco says, this just shows how Umar thinks that black folks are stupid. Not all of us are brain dead liberals. What are you brain dead liberal? What does that mean, Umar? The fear mongering is insane. Okay, and I'm not even into that either. Like there's a test you can take to see if you would fit into a conservative or a liberal or somewhere in between. But I never took the test. anyway, I just want everybody just get along. Okay, all right. Thanks, Marco. But I think that Umar, a lot of this is just fear mongering. You know, he'll there's something to come up, he'll clout chase off of it, and he'll create this whole conspiracy theory narrative, and he puts it out there. You funny. Thanks, Marco. Let's keep going.
Please listen up. Save this live, share this live, study this live. Please listen up. March the 6th, 1857. This is the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in Dred Scott. And let me say to you all, the Dred Scott decision has never been overturned by the Supreme Court. I'm going to say it again. The Dred Scott decision has never been overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court. They claim that the 14th Amendment invalidated. They claim that the 14th Amendment invalidated it. They claim that the 14th Amendment invalidated the Dred Scott decision. But if the Supreme Court overturns the 14th Amendment, then the Dred Scott decision will be the ruling decision for all black freedmen in America. Let me read it to you. Y'all ready? Listen up closely. This is the U.S. Supreme Court decision in Dred Scott versus Sanford, handed down by the highest court in this country on March the 6th, 1857. Listen. A free
Umar been using some Google.
Negro of the African race, whose ancestors were brought to this country and sold as slaves, is not a citizen within the meaning of the Constitution of the United States. Let me repeat that. I hope you are listening to me right now. Let me repeat that. A free Negro of the African race, whose ancestors were brought to this country and sold as slaves, is not a citizen within the meaning of the Constitution of the United States. When the Constitution was adopted, they were not regarded in any of the states as members of the community.
You just reading. Let me skip through. Good.
Which constituted the state. Description of persons upon a footing is not brought up by still a slave. The plaintiff is still a slave and is not entitled to sue as a citizen.
Umar tried to cover up his chair because he knew we was going to clown him.
And the judgment of this court,
what's up, Craig,
was erroneous on that ground.
Hey, Sonia.
Without any reference to the plea.
I
Brothers
don't know.
and sisters,
he's probably on Google.
That decision that I just read. That
read me a story, Umar, so I can go to sleep. Sharif, don't do that. Can you? Yeah, Umar, he reading Chat GPT. Can you imagine Umar reading bedtime stories? I don't even want to think about that because he ain't got no kid. But anyway, man, y'all cracked on his chair so bad he put a cover over. That's what I just said. I got matter of fact, I said I'm gonna pull up that video where he shows his chair that time. Okay, I just said that. Someone else has said it though, but first, yeah. Thank you for seeing. I'm gonna pull that up right quick. I'll be right back.
That decision that I just read may be revisited by the current U.S. Supreme Court if the bigots of America are successful in forcing the U.S. Supreme Court to revisit that 14th Amendment. Because according to that decision I just read, the founding fathers of America never intended African people to be citizens of this country. But if you heard me when I just read that decision, excuse-moi.
This guy, he said he had this chair since he was in college. Look at this chair. So that's why he said, let me cover it up. I'm going live. Let me go ahead and cover it up. It's worn out. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. Yep. Inside his mama closet. And then let me show you all the excuse he gives when he comes back, because people were clowning him about his chair.
I'm not getting rid of my other ends. I'm not getting rid of my chair. I love this chair. This chair has been with me for almost 20 years.
Damn.
I've been sitting in this chair before y'all knew me. I was sitting in this chair when I became a school psychologist. I was sitting in this chair when I got my doctorate. I was sitting in this chair when I took over the conscious community. I was sitting in this chair when I became King Kong Consciousness. I'm not giving up this chair until the chair gives up on me.
Huh?
I'm not giving up on this chair until this chair gives up on me. I'm not giving up this chair until this chair gives up on me.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's 20 years now. He's had it now 20 years. And he's a hoarder. That's part of the problem. Yeah. So anyway, thanks, Chastity. I had to pull that up. Thank you for the super chat. Marco also says, change that damn battery, Umar. It's $10. Yeah. This guy. See, the thing is, stuff like that, I have to change because it just bothered me. You know, like anything that, stuff beeping stuff, or if there's a humming sound, like we have a water dispenser and sometimes it turns on and then the compressor turns on, and when it does, I don't like the sound of it. It just bothers me. But Umar, he'll sit in there, he did the whole live stream with the battery thing, the smoke alarm battery going off because the battery needs to be changed. But that's Umar. Simple stuff like that. Okay, and he's at his mama in the mama closet at that time. You should at least change it for his mama, so mama don't. Anyway, thanks, Marco. Miranda says that poor chair singing "Lean with it, rock with it." that chair. I mean, that chair was from back in the day. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Tell Chero to let Umar Johnson go. That ain't right, y'all. Look at that. Okay, all right. Thanks, Miranda. Drugs ain't for everybody. Amen to that. Thank you, Mr. Maxwell. I agree 100% on that one. Someone said that chair deserves better. Yeah, you're right about that. You right about that. He never took care of the black. No, he ain't take care of nothing. I got a video dropping about the black mold coming out next couple of days. Okay, let's keep going. Here we go.
Court Justice Roger B. Taney, that devil said that a state can give black people the right to be a citizen in that state. And if the state gives you...
Who's a bigger Umor's Glazer, Father David or Luke? That's a good question. I'm going to go with Father David. Y'all let me know in the chat room. I'm going with Father David on that one, Enterprise. Because at least Big Luna challenged Umar a little bit. And he knows Umar, he on some bull jive. But Father David, I think it's Father David. Y'all let me know in the chat room what y'all think. Okay. Yeah, Father, I think the tears of a chair. I'm being petty. I can't help it though, Michael. The tears of a chair. Used and abused when no one cares. sitting for hours, Umar stares into his cell phone like a big. Let me stop. Let me stop. Dave, for sure. Okay. Yeah, Loon said, you ain't raised $1 million. Yeah, most people are enterprise. Most people are saying Father David. I think it's Father David. don't call him that. Don't call him that. Oh, poor Dizzy. I hope everything works out for him. I'm not laughing at it. It's sad, but I hope everything work out for him. Because Big Bubba gonna be coming through. Let me stop. I shouldn't do that. I think it's Father David. Mr. Bards. Mr. Bards. What's up, guys? With Princess? Or Charlemagne. Now that gets interesting. Okay, Charlemagne or Father David. See, the thing is, Father David only be having about 6 people watching, so it's not like it really matters. But Charlemagne, at least when Breakfast Club was on YouTube, the whole episode, I mean, they would get millions of views. So in this case, I would say Charlemagne. Yeah, only because of the impact and the reach. Okay, Father David, his show, it ain't nobody watching that mess. So I'm going with Charlemagne on that one. Yep. Chair abuse. Yeah. Jimmy Jamboree's right. The chair of the James. Okay. What's up, Jimmy Jamboree? Okay, let's get back going here. Some people still saying Father David. Wow. Okay, here we go.
Be a citizen in that state, you are still not a citizen of the United States. Did y'all hear when I read that?
Thanks, Enterprise.
You know what they're going to try to do? Let me tell you what they're going to try to do.
What are they going to do, Umar?
They want to overturn the 14th Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
And then they want every state to decide if they want black people as citizens. I'm going to say it again.
What?
Listen to me.
What is he talking about?
They want each of the 50 states to decide if they want black people to be citizens in their state. And only if the state allows you to be a citizen can you reapply as a citizen of the United States.
What in the world is he talking about? This guy reapply for what are you talking about? Again, James, maybe you can explain this. I don't know. Renee, anybody in the chat room. I'll look in the chat room and see if anyone can explain this to me because I don't know. I mean, I know it's some bull jive, but I'm just saying I don't understand. I just don't get it. It's like he's making this up on the spot. He didn't think about this. Who would think of something like this?
Did y'all hear that, brothers and sisters? In other words, they want to reduce you to the same status as a black immigrant seeking American citizenship.
This guy.
I hope FBA and ADOS is listening right now.
Oh, cut it.
I hope all my FBA and ADOS Africans are listening right now. If the conservatives get their way, somebody said they won't go that far. They just stripped your ass of the right to have a predominantly black voting district. And you just said they won't go that far. See, that's the problem with the American Negro.
Here he goes.
You trust your slave master. So
see, he's always anytime someone disagrees with him, he's disrespectful and demeaning. He always and black people listen to this. A lot of black people listen to this foolishness. It's not like this is bullshit. They already know. I know that. But as soon as someone say they ain't gonna, I don't even like using that word. I'll use the other one more than I would use that one. Anyway.
So much. That's the problem with the American Negro. You trust your slave master.
So I should throw away my U.S. citizenship and then reapply. So I should just, I know it don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense to me. Yeah, and then he tells people that he don't vote.
So much.
Yeah, Deshaun, he's so disrespectful.
that you actually thinks he loves you.
Huh? What does love got to do with it? What you talking about?
They are going to try to get the Supreme Court to decide.
Yeah, you right about that, Groove Lounge. Umar does say that. I have him saying that quite a bit, where he says there's no difference between liberals and conservatives, Democrats, Republicans, etc.
That American African freedmen were never intended to be citizens.
Yeah, that's what this is. He's trying to push his whole DACA thing, which he came up with. He came up with that this year, right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I thought he came up with that this year, or was it at the end of last? No, it had to have been this year, because he says that renovations were completed. It was Mother's Day of this, not Mother's Day. It was Valentine's Day. That's in February, right? Valentine's Day of this year. And then after that, that's when he comes up with the whole story about the black immigrant from Jamaica, and how this black immigrant from Jamaica was an inspector out there in Wilmington and was sabotaging the inspection process and blah, 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 blah. Just making this up. But then that's when he comes up with this whole document. No, he came up with before that, I think. Because I think he was on an interview. I'm not sure. Someone let me know, okay, if anyone remembers. Yeah, but it was this year. You're right. It was this year, but I don't remember if it was before he came up with that story about the Jamaican immigrant sabotaging him, or if it was after. I think it was before. Yeah, I think it was before. Okay, let's keep going.
Citizens by the founders of the United States Constitution.
Who's more racist, Trump or U-Boys? I think that Umar is inherently racist. I think that he's racist against other groups of people, and I think that he's racist against black people. I know people say, well, black people can't be racist. That's just a bunch of bullshit. That's a way to where black people can't be held accountable for taking racist actions against other groups of people. Okay. And if people argue, no, we don't have power. Yeah, but if you can treat someone poorly based upon race, that's a form of racism. Okay. Now, to what degree, that's a whole nother conversation. But Umar is racist not only towards black people, he's also racist towards other groups. Even him saying things like snow bunny crisis and sand bunnies and salsa bunnies and rice bunnies, that's all racist. If that was, let's say, someone in the KKK saying something like that, everyone's outraged. But Umar says that he gets a pass. Okay. So I'm going with Umar. I think he's overwhelmingly racist. It's part of his rhetoric. It's part of who he is. Thank you for the subject. Okay, let's go.
Therefore, their citizenship is revoked, but they can apply for citizenship in their home state. And if the home state.
So it was at the same time when he comes up with that. Okay, that makes sense. It's not as easy as they make it seem to get citizenship in Ghana. Yeah, I've heard that there's people who tried and they couldn't get it. Okay, let's go.
Grants them citizenship, they can reapply to be a citizen of America.
You guys don't.
They're going to make you a black immigrant in a country you built. They're going to make you a black.
That just doesn't make any sense, Umar. How they going to make me an immigrant? I was born here. My mama was, and my daddy was born here. What you talking about? Goofy.
Immigrant in the country you built. And I got more bad news for you.
Y'all, here we go.
I got more bad news for you. If they overturn the 14th Amendment,
here he go.
I can promise you.
Here he go.
If they overturn the 14th Amendment, I can promise you, they are going to.
Okay, anyone want to guess what amendment he's going to throw out here next in the chat room? Because he's about to throw one out there. Anyone want to take a guess? Go on ahead and type it in the chat room. I guarantee it. Poll question: is Umar Johnson stressed about FDMG? 79% said yes. 21% said no. All right. Make sure you vote in. Our goal for today for likes is 400. And right now we are at 162. 160. Okay, so make sure you get your vote in. If you're enjoying the show, hit that like button when you get a second. Crafting with Delonda. That's a nice screen name. I think Umar started off with good intentions, but once the money started coming in, he mishandled it because he didn't have the knowledge or structure to manage it. Now he's stuck with no way out. Yeah, this is There's debate about this. Okay, and I'll tell you right straight up, Delonda, I don't believe that this is the case. I think that Umar had bad intentions from the beginning, and that he didn't think that the amount of money would come in as it did. Now, did he mismanage money? Yes, because most of the money he spent on himself. But I don't think that he had good intentions from the beginning, and I can explain why. But this is a sound argument too. Is it possible that Umar Johnson had good intentions? And we've had poll questions. We've had this as a poll question. And many people have argued that this is the case, that he had good intentions, the money came in, and he mismanaged the money. And then now he's stuck with no way out. Okay. Historically speaking, if we look into the Umar Johnson timeline, and I'm not here to dissuade you or to change your mind, because I think it is a legitimate argument that you're making here. I just don't agree with it. What the history shows is that Umar Johnson was running scams prior to the FDMG school scam. He conceptualized FDMG in 2004. He was in UNIA at that time. And in 2005, he puts in a resignation letter. I covered this inside of the documentary. That resignation letter is not on, at least the last time I checked, it's not online anymore. But I have screenshots of it, and we've covered it many times over the years. So he conceptualized FDMG. He says in 2005, then he says before that, so that would be at least 2004. But then in 2005, he puts in a resignation letter with the UNIA. And in that resignation letter, most of his gripe with the UNIA dealt with two things: three things: power, control, and money. Okay, he wanted more power. He wanted more control. He wanted to start his own chapter, because he felt like the elders were holding him back. Okay, this ties to Umar Johnson's narcissism, megalomania, the need to be in power and control, and him seeing himself even back then as some sort of a great black leader, the chosen one, or the Black Christ, as he calls himself. A lot of this rhetoric is tied to the lie that he's related to Frederick Douglass. He actually thinks it's some sort of divine right to rule because he's a descendant of Frederick Douglass in his own twisted mind. So back then, he was trying to, before he put in his resignation letter, part of the issue was the power, and it was control. But the other thing was money, and he was trying to get money out of the UNIA to renovate the second and third story of that particular division of that building. There was a fire years prior that had taken place there. So that's what he wanted to do. And they didn't want to give him the type of money that he wanted. And he complains about that too. But it goes to show you that Umar, his intention was about power, control, and he wanted access to the coffers. Well, that becomes the lens through which Umar sees FDMG, because around that time, he conceptualizes FDMG. Okay, so 2005, 2000, he resigns from the UNIA, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. 2010, he posts on his Facebook page promises, it was January of 2010, promises to begin laying the groundwork for the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Pan African School for Black Boys, specializing in learning disabilities and disruptive behavior disorders. This will be a private school, and yes, you will pay in order for your son to attend. The grand opening, September 11, 2013. So he's saying this in 2010. He's going to start laying the groundwork. He claims that he received his first donation in the form of land that was given to him in San Bernardino, California. He states that in December of 2012. Now, at this time, he's saying, Umar, he proposes that he's telling people that he didn't start collecting money until 2014. But he also told people at the end of 2012 that land was gifted to him. He said that more land was gifted to him in Philadelphia in 2013 for FDMG. So the point that I'm getting at is, before he even starts raising money for the St. Paul's College, according to Umar, and I can show you the receipts, land had already been donated to him. So if he starts, according to him, if he starts raising money in 2014, and he says he's collected his first donation in the spring of 2014, he's lying about that, because I have the receipts that show that, according to him, he had received land in Philadelphia and also in San Bernardino, California, in the form of land prior to that. So he's already being dishonest about that right there. Okay, donations, he received donations prior to 2014. Okay. Now, the other thing too, Delonda, if we look at the timeline and we go even further, 2014, Umar starts to raise money. By 2015, in 2015, about a year and a couple of months after he starts raising money, specifically for St. Paul's College. He was collecting donations prior to that. He just lies to people and tells people that he didn't. That's not good intentions. He's at $500,000. He goes on the Breakfast Club and states that. It's over a decade ago that he's at $500,000. In 2016, he says that he will be at 2015, I think it's 2015, he says he's going to be at $1 million by the end of the summer. But then and that's 2015. So let's say by 2016, he has $1 million based upon his own words. Well, then how is it possible that by the time we get to 2018, he says that he's at $750,000? See, the math's not working. And the reason why the math's not working is because from the jump, he didn't have good intentions. In fact, he didn't even report the donations that he received to the IRS with the nonprofit status for his first nonprofit, EIN. He didn't even report that to the IRS for the years of 2015, 16, or 17. So in essence, all that money that he collected is personal income because he didn't report to the IRS. Where'd all that money go? That's not good intentions. And then, of course, over the years, there was a time period between 2015 through 2019 where he's traveling around pretending to be looking for schools. And some of these schools were in such dilapidated state, he shouldn't even be inside of those buildings. That's all a stage show to keep people donating. And then whenever he would go to a city, he would say, I'm looking, for instance, let's say, Delani, if you're in Cincinnati, he'll say, I'll be speaking in Cincinnati. I'm looking for a school in Cincinnati. Make sure you come out to the lecture. And people would get excited because that's my home city. And not only do they come out to listen, he sells books, he sells DVDs, but then they're also more willing to donate to him at the actual event. See, that's a scheme right there. And he did this for half a decade. He did this. There's more that I can point out in terms of where it shows that he didn't have good intentions. See, he could have, with that $500,000 after the first year, I think it's a year and 2 months, with that $500,000, he could have started something somewhere. Why didn't he do that? He could have rented a storefront, $5,000 a month, $6,000 a month, $7,000 a month, furnished it with $500,000 just to get started, show proof of concept. But Umar, mostly what he was doing was traveling around the world. And it wasn't until last year where all that started to slow down. But that goes to show you that he wasn't focused on actually making this manifest. And that's why here we are since 2010, we're talking 16 years later, not one black child's been educated. He's collected millions of dollars. That's another thing too. If he had good intentions and he was overwhelmed with all of this, he should have stopped collecting donations. He's still asking for donations in 2026. In fact, in the video that we're watching today, he's asking for donations, but donations for what exactly? And then there's always an excuse. There's always an excuse. The other thing too is there's no checks and balances. There's no oversight. In other words, Umar is a one-man show. He doesn't have a board of directors. He, on his paperwork, with the IRS that he filed for 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. Is that right? Yeah. He's the only one that's on the so-called board of directors. So he's in control of everything. Okay, that's a problem in and of itself. There's so much more that I can say about this that leads me to conclude that Umar never had good intentions, because at this point, even not at this point, by 2016, Umar should have had something going. Remember, again, after about a year, a little over a year, he said he was at $500,000. Well, prior to him collecting money for the St. Paul's College, land had already been donated to him. You can't build something on this land that was donated to in Philadelphia and San Bernardino. You can't build something on this land to get started with $500,000. No, you can get something started. Why didn't he do that? Well, it was because Umar, he had no intention, in my opinion, to open up a school. It was about getting money out of people. One other thing, and I can go on this for hours. I really could. One other thing that just came to mind. 2014 comes around, and by the spring, Umar goes on this campaign to acquire the St. Paul's College. And it was a closed bid auction. This is another example. He wasn't serious, and he didn't have good intentions. Closed bid auction. That means that whoever puts in a bid, whatever they put in is not known to anyone else who may put in a bid. It's not known. And the starting bid was $2.5 million. That's just the start. 2.5 million. Umar was trying to come up with first $1 million, then he said 2 million, then he bumped it up to 4 million, but he was trying to come up with $1 million in a matter of weeks. No team, no business plan, no board of directors, no proof of concept. It was just him. I can play the video for you right now. He's walking up there. It's just him. No curriculum, no faculty staff lined up, no students, no general contractor, nothing. It was just Umar. So why would he think that over the course of weeks that he's going to come up with millions of dollars? And then that went to a month, and then 2 months, and then 3 months, and then he just kept collecting money all the way to 2019 until he acquires these trap bundles for $400,000, but he tells people that it was around $750,000. See, that goes to show you that he's being dishonest. It's all about the money. And he's still collecting money in 2026 for a school that does not exist. I can go on and on and on this, Delonda. This argument, though, I think it's a sound argument based upon my research. However, based upon my research, I will assert that Umar never had good intentions, and that he saw this as an opportunity initially to get money, but he didn't know that it was going to be this amount of money. And when the money really started flowing in, he just kept going with it and going with it and going with it until the wheels have fallen off. And he's still doing it to this day. Okay, and that's my perspective on it. Okay, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, one other thing I want to say, does Umar have a way out? Yes, he does. He has a way out in 2026. And there's different options. Some of them are less respectable than other ones. Again, I've said that I believe last year that he wanted to have these buildings go up to sheriff sale so that they can be taken from him. He can use that as an excuse to move this project along and just extend it, because everything's been about extending it longer and longer. Even when he was looking for buildings, it was about extending it, and he did this for a significant period of time, about a half a decade, in point of fact. If the buildings were sold last year, he could have simply said, hey, listen, they sold them out from under me as sabotage. That's his main excuse. Even in his UNIA letter from 2005, it was about sabotage. He never holds himself accountable for anything. And then he can say, well, and then he would get some of the money back based upon the sale. And he could say, okay, we're going to take this money, we're going to find another building. And he can extend this now for another 6 or 7 years. When he acquired these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware, back in February 2019, and I stated, and I was wrong, I'll admit when I'm wrong, that he could probably extend this for another 3 or 4 years. Okay, we're 7 years and counting now. Who's to say that this doesn't go for another decade? I highly doubt that it will, but it's always been about extending things. Matter of fact, I want to show you guys, and I've shown this before, but I just wanted you guys to see what I mean by everything is about extending, and he was never serious. And we can even look at, oh man, another one, and I haven't seen Black Anonymous. Hope Black Anonymous is doing okay. I haven't seen him in Black Anonymous in a while. Black Anonymous did a blog. Two blog posts. One of quite a few, but on Umar. But one of them that Black Anonymous did, it showed that Umar lied about even putting in a bid for the St. Paul's College. He never put in a bid because the starting bid was $2.5 million. He didn't have $2.5 million at the time, but he told his followers that he put in the bid. That goes to show you that he wasn't serious and that it was a scam. Why did he tell people that? He told people that he put in the bid, and again, the starting bid, and I can pull up to show you guys exactly, $2.5 million. And at that time, I think it was like 3 or 4 months, or maybe 3 months after he started. So in 3 months, you mean to tell me Umar raised $2.5 million? No, he told people that so that people would keep donating because they thought that he was serious about acquiring these buildings in St. Paul. It was a college campus. Okay, so again, that's a separate issue. The other thing that Black Anonymous wrote about was Umar's. He had a Detroit school scam, and he went up there because he was speaking in Detroit. So he went out there, and it was just a random building. And he goes up there and he starts talking as if he's trying to acquire it. Well, Black Anonymous did the research, and that building wasn't even up for sale. He didn't have good intentions. There was a school in Chicago that he was just driving by, and he just stops and he gets out and he starts filming himself, acting as if he's looking at. No, not at all. But let me show you something real quick. It's going to take me a second to find. In fact, let me go back to this as I find it. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
To look at the 13th Amendment.
And there it is.
They are going to look at.
How many people said the 13th Amendment, that's what Umar was going to say, that they were going to. Yeah, I'm so behind now in the chat room because I was okay, so let me let this play.
At the 13th Amendment. They are going to revisit slavery, not to put you back in chains. Nope.
Here we go.
Not to put you back in chains, but to allow another human being to own you. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They are going to chain gain us back. They're going, yes. They're going to say, because you committed this crime, you are now an indentured servant of the family you committed the crime against. You are now an indentured servant of the corporation you committed the crime against. Let me give you an example. Let's say you go down to the shopping mall. Let's say you go to Ralph Lauren, you go into Foot Locker, you go into the Gucci store, and you steal a Birkin bag.
Why would
or
someone
you
go
still use some Gucci flip-flops.
What in the world?
You steal a pair of Air Jordans out of Foot Locker. Let's say you go into the iPhone store. You go into the Apple store. And you steal an iPad.
Why is
and you get convicted. Guess what they're going to do? They're not going to sentence you to jail. They're going to sentence you to indentured servitude to the Apple Corporation. They're going to sentence you to indentured servitude to Foot Locker. They're going to sentence you to indentured servitude to Walmart. They're going to sentence you to...
Man, this guy is talking crazy. He is. He tripping. He said to the Apple Corporation, and Apple will never allow that. So now what? I know. Hey, listen, I can't say I don't know what he told. Listen to Umar's like finding random voice notes your uncle saved while he was in grad school. He said voice notes. Okay, Sly. Thank you. Thank you for being a member for 2 bulbs. Say what now? A Walmart slave. That's crazy. Yeah, at least makes some sense. Yeah, Amir, out of all places, he said Walmart. Umar, you tripping? while he holding an Apple phone. There you go. This guy is simply cocky. He crazy, powerful. All right, let me let it keep going.
Indentured servitude to McDonald's. Is that a snowman? How dare you come on my live? How dare you bring your ass on my live, sir?
There you go, Umar.
You melanin deficient, sun cursed, reptile lip having devil. How dare you come on my live?
Yeah, he tripping.
And try to see. I don't go into the ice community and bother y'all. I don't go into the the frostbit, the ice community, the mayonnaise, the milk.
See?
I don't bother the Snow Kingdom. You have never seen me.
It is. It's racist. And again, black people, well, we can't be. No, this is racist, inherently racist. It's wrong. And it's we shouldn't make excuses for it. Just horrible.
disrespect a member of the Snow Kingdom. I have never infiltrated one of your lives. I ain't never tried to touch your wife, your daughter, your sister. I'm just
this guy
taking care of my people. But you narcissistic, sociopath.
Okay, this is him projecting because he's the narcissist and he's a sociopath. Hit the one. There it is. This is called projecting.
Psychopathic.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that he's a psychopath. I think he's borderline psychopath. Psychopathic, live in your mama closet, nipping all the time, don't have your own car, been homeless, and you just be projecting.
Genetically recessive, reptile-lipped, melanin deficient, sun
It's such a horrible thing to be talk. Why are you talking like this?
cursed demons got the nerve.
You're so hateful.
No disrespect to my white fans.
Here he go.
No
His white fans. He be talking horrible about everybody. You know, then he have my fans.
disrespect to my white fans. No disrespect to my white fans.
Umar is on a public internet service provider. Yeah,
But I got to check one of your fellow brethren. I got to check one of your fellow brethren.
Yeah, after all that,
For
he's no disrespect.
My sacred space.
Oh, cut it out, Umar. It's your mama
I don't
closet.
go where I'm not wanted.
Umar, it's your mama closet. Stop.
And I would appreciate it if they didn't go where they're not wanted. Brothers and sisters, you are going to start seeing black people.
Here he go.
Indentured out to corporations in exchange for prison time. I promise you, in the next 25 years, the next 25 years,
25 years? That's what he was acting like it was going to happen in a couple months. Okay, I want to go back and show you guys 3 videos. So the first one is just this whole idea of Umar that even the process of him finding a building to start with, it wasn't about finding a building. It was about extending this indefinitely while he continued to collect money, just like he's still doing in 2026. I want to show you a video from 2016. I'm going to show you a video from 2017, and then I'm going to go back to 2015. Actually, let's do these in order because I'm big on timeline. I'm going to go back to 2015, January 19th of 2015. I want people to hear how Umar is speaking about his donors, and this is roughly about 8 months after he started raising money for the St. Paul's College. Okay, roughly about 8 months. Let's listen to what he says here.
Still, we doing okay. PayPal sabotaged us, y'all. Let me tell you how PayPal sabotaged. I called PayPal before I started using PayPal for the school fundraising. And I didn't want to use PayPal, but lazy Negroes kept talking about why I just can't make an online donation. Take your lazy ass to the post office and get a stamp. But anyway, they kept on bugging me, so I said, okay, let me do this PayPal. Now, I called PayPal first. I said, listen, I don't have tax-exempt status yet. I won't have it to the end of the year. And I don't want y'all to freeze my account. If y'all going to freeze my account, I don't even want to start with PayPal. They told me you should be fine. Now, check this out. We raised $25,000, PayPal don't say nothing. We raised $50,000, PayPal don't say nothing. We raised $100,000, PayPal don't say nothing. Soon when I get to $125,000, they freeze my damn account.
$125,000 in about, and this is just on PayPal, $125,000 just on PayPal in a matter of 9 months, maybe a little less than, let's say 8 months. He had raised over $400,000 on GoFundMe. The point is that, and this video right here is in 2015. Why didn't he just take the money that he had in 2015? And he stated in 2015 that he was at 500,000. If land had already been donated to him in San Bernardino, California, and also in Philadelphia, why didn't he just take that $500,000 and build something on that land just to get started? Doesn't have to be a large building at all, just to get started, because he wasn't serious. I'll say this: Umar did not anticipate that he would receive the type of money that he was receiving. See, part of what Umar does, and he's done this consistently. This I can prove this in his timeline, is that he would throw things out there, ideas to get money out of people, expecting people to pay for these things. And based upon the response, he will either hold on to it and extend it as long as he could, or he would just discard it. What's a preeminent example of that, too, by the way? Well, a preeminent example of that was when Umar said that he was going to do a documentary. He was trying to get into the documentary space that was, even at that time, was dominated by Tariq Nasheed with the Hidden Color series. Umar was in the first and second Hidden Color series video documentary. I think he was in the third too. Umar was trying to get into that space. So he was talking about doing a shockumentary. He had a grandiose time and everything. Cover this other documentary. That was supposed to premiere in 2012. You guys know he was still raising money for that in 2022. And there's still no shockumentary. See, because by 2022, that particular scam had dried up. And so he just stops talking about it. What about the Rules of Romance book that he was collecting pre-orders for many years ago, and it still doesn't exist? See, he gets the money. At a certain point with these smaller, lesser projects, the money would stop, and so he would just move on. He wouldn't even mention it anymore. But with this whole FDMG school scam, people are still sending him money, not like how they used to, but it's free money. He doesn't have to do anything per se. He doesn't have to actually produce what he stated that it was going to. He said the school was going to open September 11, 2013. He said that in 2010. So why didn't Umar, even at this point, the video I just played you all, why didn't he just take the money that he had at that time? And this is after, correct? Yes, this is after he's raised over $500,000. Why didn't he just take that money and go build on that property in San Bernardino, or building a property in Philadelphia? He's from Philadelphia. Why didn't he do that? Because it's always about extending this indefinitely. It's always been about that. So that's what I mean. It's not that he had good intentions. He was trying to get money for a renovation building fund from the UNIA. It's a similar scam. It's just he transfers that over to FDMG. And then here we are, like with the documentary, like with the Rules of Romance, like with the Big Papa podcast, or Dr. Umar.tv, or his shockumentary. When people get excited initially, when the money runs out, he just abandons it. See, money's still coming in with FDMG. So he's still trying to finagle, find ways to extend it over and over again, mostly via excuse making and blaming other people and saying that it's sabotage, so forth and so on. So I just want to prove that point here, that even, and the other thing too is, into this video from January 19th of 2015, this could have been in 2014 when this was actually recorded. It comes online January 19th of 2015. But listen how he was even talking about his donors, calling them lazy. You can't have good intentions when you're taking money from people and you promise that the school was going to open in 2013. You're taking money from these people in 2014, 2015. This video appears online January 19th of 2015, and you're calling people who've sent you money lazy, because Umar didn't want them to go digital. He wanted them to send it checks and money orders in cash to his PO box, even though it's more convenient for people to do it digitally. Interestingly enough, he realized how convenient that is, and so he started to promote the digital more and more and more. And then he got his CashApp. He got more money on CashApp than anything else, in my opinion. That got shut down for fraud too, just like his GoFundMe got shut down for fraud. It's not good intentions. See, Umar, he's been corrupt prior to conceptualizing FDMG, prior to taking donations for FDMG in 2012, prior to raising money for the St. Paul's College, prior to acquiring these trap bandos in Wilmington, Delaware in February 2019. And here we are over 7 years later, he's still corrupt. Nothing's changed. Still doesn't have good intentions, because he should have had something done by now. He's raised somewhere around $3 million based upon my estimations and all of my research. No one can tell me that Umar couldn't have gotten something started by now with $3 million. You can't tell me that he couldn't have got something started by now with $2 million. You couldn't tell me that he couldn't get something started by now with $1 million, especially given the fact that he stated that land had already been donated to him way back in 2012 and in 2013. And he's still collecting money to this day. Okay. Now, in between the St. Paul school scam and him acquiring these trap banners in Wilmington, Delaware. So we're talking between the spring of 2014 and February of 2019. Umar, for years, was going around the country and around the world promising to open up schools wherever he would go, even in the UK and in Africa. So why would he do that? Well, he did. Well, land was already donated, right? According to him, already donated in San Bernardino, California, and also in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Why would he do that? Well, he did that because, strategically speaking, if he can tell people, hey, listen, I'm looking for a school in your city. I'm going to be speaking there in 2 weeks. Make sure you come out. They're going to be more willing to come out, but also he'll be able to sell them books, DVDs, lectures, etc. But then also he can ask for donations, and they'll be more inclined to donate because they're been led to believe that somehow he's going to open up a school in their city. So Umar would travel around the world, and he would go to random schools. In some cases, they would give him a tour. The first tour that he did for the school in Wilmington, Delaware, was in 2017, 2 years prior to him acquiring those buildings for $400,000. He said around $750. See, that goes to show you he didn't have good intentions, because he's trying to say that he spent more on it so that he can justify how this other $350,000 disappeared. No, it was $400,000. I broke that story. I broke the story before Umar even did his video to tell people that he had acquired the trap banners. How many of y'all remember? Any of y'all was around back then? Hit the one. It's not good intentions. So another way you can look at this too with the good intentions is that when Umar would go and look at different schools, some of these schools were in such a dilapidated state, there would be no reason for any person to even be in there. Let's go to 2016. And this one isn't that bad, but the 2017 proves my point. Here we go. This is from December 19th, 2016. By this time, Umar was at $1 million, according to him, his own words, because he said by the summer of 2016. This is December of 2016. Why would you be going and looking into a dilapidated building like this when land had already been donated to you in Philadelphia and in San Bernardino 4 years prior? 4 and 5 years prior. Excuse me. That's not. 3 and 4 years prior, respective, if that makes sense.
Over here, there's a little bit of yard, and then there's yards in the back too. You looking for a play area?
Yeah.
I'll show you out back.
Okay. No problem.
There's some green space from here all the way up that side
Okay.
to the convent.
Okay.
But there's a little bit of a slope on that.
No
that-
problem.
that
Now, this building here.
We're gonna go to
Okay.
it. That's
No problem.
they
No problem.
built 2 computer labs like that.
Okay. It's hallway.
You go right here.
Yeah.
I'll skip through.
Yeah, there's some. You'll see. There's also a center yard where kids will play.
Okay. Okay.
But the kids are chucking stuff to bust the windows at night.
Okay.
They've added security now.
Gotcha.
Again, he doesn't have a team. He doesn't have a board of directors. He doesn't have an accountant. None of that. Just him. Okay. Now let's go to 2017. Here you go.
I didn't even know a floor could come up in this. But that's a different type of floor, though. Wow.
Look at this. Why would you even be considering something like this? And you've already raised $1 million, according to Umar's own words. Why would you even be considering something like this? It makes no sense. Why would you even be in here? See, again, he would go wherever he would be. If he was in Atlanta, he'd go look at that school in Atlanta. I can't remember where he was at in this one, but wherever he was at here, when he would be speaking, he would tell people he's looking for a school. He'll find a school and he'll go in there. Some cases, he would just randomly just show up and stand outside. So why would he be in here? If land had already been donated and he was already at $1 million, why would he even go up and even look? And this right here, this is ridiculous. Well, the reason why is because he was attempting to extend this scam as long as possible, and he would use this as fuel to get people excited so that they would continue to donate. It's all manipulation. So that's what I mean by it's not, you can't, I cannot argue that he had good intentions, because if he had good intentions, he wouldn't be operating like this. Look at this. You wouldn't even catch me in there, period. This building needs to be demolished. That's all water damage too. So who knows what other airborne toxins or airborne whatever is in there. He shouldn't even be up in there.
Wow. We keep in here. These must be closets. Locker rooms. Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Wow.
Look like Tony Hawk get up in here.
Was there any leaks in Higginbotham?
There might be small
Small
ones.
ones. Nothing major. Nothing major.
I see one white spot when we went in.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was
See, Umar doesn't even know what he's doing. He don't know what he's talking about. And is there any? This is massive water damage.
telling him you might need to do a little bit of repair on the roof.
Right.
But I walked through that building with somebody who was inspecting it structurally, and he said the roof was pretty good.
He said it was pretty
He
good.
said you wouldn't need to do a lot of work on it.
Yeah, you lying. Cut
Let
it
me
out.
ask you, that person there who checked it out structurally, what is he called? Like, what is his?
What you mean? What is he called, Umar? You see what I'm saying? He don't even know what the listen. He remember in 2010, he said that the grand opening was going to be September 11, 2013. The video that we're watching right here is from 2017, and he don't even know who that inspector would be, what their position would be. He had already been looking for. He was looking at the St. Paul's in 2014. This video again is from 2017. He still doesn't know. Why not? Because he was never serious, and he still don't know. He thinks there's one final inspection that needs to take place and everything's ready to go. No, that's not how they already did the research on that. How is it that Umar in 2010 can say the school's going to open September 11, 2013? In 2010, he says that, and we're in 2026, 16 years later, and he still doesn't know who would be the person that would look at the structural. He doesn't know that in 2017, and in 2026, he doesn't even know the process to get a building properly inspected, so that ultimately Umar can get it off of the vacant property list and that everything's up to code. He still doesn't know about that. I'll play a little bit more of this, then we get back on track. Here we go.
Professional type. That is a what? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know. Everyone, I always just call them contractors.
I got you.
But
I got you.
I call that for an electrician or plumber.
I got you.
See, that young man, it sounds like he's a young man, doesn't know, and Umar doesn't know. This is 7 years after he posted on his Facebook page that the grand opening was going to be September 11th, 2013. Okay, here's the receipt for you guys. You can't find this on his Facebook page anymore, at least the last time I checked, but here it is right here. I've shown this more than anything else. Look, this was from January 6, 2010. The video that we were just watching is from January 19th, 2007, 7 years later, and he still doesn't even know the terminology for the people. That is crazy. I'll play a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe a general contract, because his job is to get the people who can.
Yeah.
No. You need a structural engineer to come in and look at things, inspectors to come in, Umar.
Yeah, I got you. They all come under him.
Did y'all see that? Look at this.
Yeah, maybe a general contract, because his job is to get the people who can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. They all
Boy, this is crazy.
come under him.
Again, he was already at $1 million at this point, based upon his own words.
What was this? You think?
Yeah.
It don't look like no library. It could have been, but
Just the way the windows made me think it was the library.
okay.
Yeah, see, I don't think that this guy right here is like a professional that's showing him. I think this is someone from out there that they contacted Umar about this school. So they're walking through. He doesn't know what this building, what these different rooms are either. It's just a mess. Okay, and I can continue, but let's get back on track here. I want to show you guys 2 other videos though. Here's the video from 2016, November 19th of 2016.
For that. We got to respect our children more than what we do. And it's nothing worse than a child who never sees his dad and mother again in the same space and time. You ever see that?
And again, Umar's been a deadbeat. He hasn't been in his children's lives. He's not the one to talk.
I've never seen my mom and dad together. Even if they come to the game, she's on that corner, he's on that corner. That's not right. Because you know what that tells our children? That even adults can't work their problems out. Even adults can't put their differences to the side for the best interests of children. If we can lay down the makeup, we better be able to stand up the racism. It's very important. Divorce can be traumatizing.
Yeah, look who's talking though. And look at how he was talking about his baby mamas last year with the rants and his mama clothes.
To the mind of a child. It can be very traumatizing to the mind of a child. Very, very, very. Brothers and sisters, you all know that I've been working to build the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy for our boys. And for my young men in college, if you want to work at the school, send me a resume.
He started collecting resumes in 2010. Okay, we're in 2026. He's still collecting resumes for a school that doesn't exist and for jobs that don't exist either.
Folks who are not in college, you want to work at the school, you can send me a resume. The Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy will be the world's first academy dedicated to teaching our sons the principles of revolutionary Pan African nationalism and international economics. That means that by the time your child has done their 14th year, 9th grade, they will know how to do their own taxes. By the time they've done their 15th year, 10th grade, they will already have a business plan. By the time they've done their 16th year, 11th grade, they will be trading stock on Wall Street. By the time they graduate, they will have mastered real estate in their native hometown. The school is based on the premise that if you understand how money works, if you understand the laws of money, you can become financially empowered without a college degree. I'm not against college. My boys will be more than prepared for college for those who want to major in careers that require it. But for my young brothers who don't necessarily want to be something that requires a college education, we will give them another avenue through financial empowerment. I want the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy to be a residential school. They will live there, they will sleep there. This is important because education should not stop at 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, when they get out of school, using this, they're going to learn how to use these. 3 o'clock until dinner time on Monday, they learn how to fix cars. 3 o'clock until dinner time on Tuesday, they learn how to farm in agriculture. 3 o'clock until dinner on Wednesday, they learn in African martial arts. You understand?
Yeah, by the way, in 2014, end of 2014, Umar wanted to raise $5 million.
So you guys know I've been raising money for this initiative for about 2 years. We've raised over $700,000 in that amount.
Okay, he's saying $700,000 in about 2 years, and it's not even accurate what he's saying there because he starts raising money specifically for the St. Paul's College, and that's his reference point. Even though he was receiving donations back in 2012, but we're going to go with his reference points, given the benefit of the doubt. That would be the spring of 2014. This conference is November 19th of 2016. So it's not exactly 2 years. It's closer to like a year. Let's see. Let's say April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. It's about a year and 7 months, maybe 8 months. But he's already at $700,000. He's been raising money since 2014 for the St. Paul's College in particular. It's been 12 years. It's 12 years altogether. But listen to what he says next. That's more than enough to get started with something, especially since Umar stated that land had been donated to him in San Bernardino County in California. He stated that back in 2012 and in 2012 and in 2013, he said that land was granted him and donated to him for FDMG in Philadelphia. Okay, 700,000 is more than enough to get started with something.
Time we'll probably be crossing a million, by New Year's. So I'm already starting to look.
So he's saying by New Year's. So in 2016, he would be at $1 million. I have a video though, where he says that by the end of the summer of 2016, he would be at $1 million. Okay. All right. All right. So, and then I want to show you guys this is another way, another example of Umar just being shady and shows that he didn't have good intentions. This is after he acquires these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. He does this video December 28th of 2019, where he pretends as if he's interested in the school in Detroit. It's actually not in Detroit, but we're just going to say Detroit. It's in Michigan. And Black Anonymous did the research. These buildings were not even up for sale. But let's play a little bit of this and we'll get back to the main video.
Peace and love, Black family. It's the Prince of Pan Africanism, King Kong Consciousness. I'm live and direct, Southfield, Michigan, with my big brother Cardinal. I'm outside of the Academy of Southfield. This is the school that I was trying to purchase. This is the school that is Black owned that I was trying to purchase. Why am I here today? Because I want Detroit to know that we haven't given up on you yet. Why am I here today? I want Detroit to know that I haven't given up on you yet. Yes, we have a beautiful school in Wilmington. That is going to be our first school. That is going to be our mother campus. Shout out to the entire Black Wilmington, Delaware community. But Detroit, we have to finish our mission. We had a mission to build a school in Detroit. I want Detroit to be campus number 2. Wilmington is campus number 1. I want Detroit to be campus.
It's all about getting money. Why would you want to try to start another campus in 10 months after you acquire or another school or acquire another building for a school, because he still didn't have a school. 10 months after you acquire these abandoned buildings that are in a dilapidated state in Wilmington, Delaware? Why would you do that? Well, he did this because he was speaking in Detroit. So he wanted to give this illusion to people that he's looking for a school in that area so that people would come out and come to his venue, come to the venue to hear him speak so that he can sell them books, they'll buy DVDs, merchandise, but then also they can donate to this potential school in Detroit. But he had no intention of actually acquiring this building here in Michigan. As a point of fact, the building was not even up for sale. That's not good intention. He's a scam artist.
Number 2. Wilmington is campus number 1. I want Detroit to be campus number 2. And this is the school, Academy of Southfield. Okay. Formerly George Washington Carver School. That's right. The George Washington Carver School. Beautiful school. 2 floors, modern school. It's clean. It don't need no work. Let me say it again, Detroit. This school doesn't need any renovation.
Okay, he doesn't even know that because he didn't even go into the school. He just pulled up with his homeboy. They got out the car and then here we go.
It is move-in ready. If we can get possession of this school, we can start school probably this coming fall. We could start school September of 2020. We could start school next year.
This is nuts. By the way, the other video, Umar states, and I quote, when we crossed the $1 million mark, probably around the end of the summer would have been around September 22nd of 2016. If he's at $1 million around September 22nd of 2016, and land had already been donated to him in San Bernardino, California, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, why didn't he take that $1 million and get started with something at that time? Because this is what you call a long con. He's a scam artist. It's all about the money. Everything is about extending the scam. It's about reaching the tentacles out more and more to get more people caught up and sucked into this foolishness. And this is precisely what he's doing here in Michigan.
Yeah, if we get to school. So if you live in Michigan, if you live in Detroit, you do real estate, or you know the brothers who own this school, because I've been, I communicated with them. I met them.
He's lying. It's not even brothers that own these. This some white guys. Black and Honest did all the research. This guy, he's such a liar. And if you listen to him, you can tell he's lying. He's a liar. Listen.
Because I've been, you do real estate, or you know the brothers who own this school.
Why would you ask other people to try to get in contact with these brothers who own this school, even though there ain't no brothers that own the school? It's not even up for sale. If you've already been in communication with them, why don't you call them?
Because I've been, I communicated with them. I met them.
He lying. I've been, stop.
Back in 2017, when I was trying to get this school, when I spent more time in depth.
Cut it out. God, he just be making up anything.
Detroit than any other place on earth trying to get to school. And I was telling them I wanted to put $500,000 down, pay the rest off. They didn't go.
Why would you want to put $500,000 down in 2017 where you stated May 16th, 2016, when we crossed the $1 million mark, probably around the end of the summer? That would have been September 22nd of 2016, Umar. You want to just put 500? Why don't you put it all down? Well, because this wasn't for sale in the first place. This guy, he lies so much. You're right, he does. He sounds just like Polite on that work site. Don't make me pull it up. Just lying.
Go for it. In their defense, there was a white realtor that I had to deal with. I don't know.
See, he's making this up too. He always has to blame somebody. Now it's a white realtor. Who's more of a doctor, Dr. Umar or Dr. Cheyenne? He's still right here. They're two peas in the pot. I saw her talking on the breakfast. I said, she sound like Umar. Listen, I've researched Umar. I know my Umar stats. And I was listening. I said, yeah. What you want me to pull up? Here we go.
The white realtor was communicating the truth to them or whatever. But let's go on the walk. Let's go on the walk. I want y'all to see. This is supposed to be the school in Detroit. This is supposed to be the school in Detroit. And then they got extra modulars right there. They got all this extra class space. You got the school on the right-hand side, and then you got the modular units on the left-hand side. You feel me? Behind me is extra class space. So you got the school over here, okay? And then you got the modular units over here. You could probably do almost 1,000 students.
Cut it out.
We got land out here, playground.
He just making this up.
Okay. You see the playground over there? The swings, got a nice yard, nice outdoor yard, all the extra modulars. Look at all this outside space, y'all.
Crazy.
Beautiful trees. We got a lot of beautiful trees in Delaware too. This is supposed to be FDMG Detroit. Now, when I come to the Charles Wright Museum, when I show up at the Charles Wright Museum on Monday, December 30th, I'm hoping one of my Detroit brothers or sisters bring me some good news about this school. All right? When I come to the Charles Wright Museum next Monday, December 30th, I'm hoping one of my Detroit brothers or sisters bring me some good news about the Academy of Southfield. You feel me? Because this is supposed to be FDMG campus number 2 right here. This is supposed to be the second campus, y'all. This is supposed to be the second campus right here. That's why I'm out here today. This is supposed to be the second campus.
No, he just pulled, look at him. He just looks bad, but he just pulled up with his homeboy and they got out the whip, as they say, and they start filming. He pretends, just like Polite.
You feel me? Beautiful school, right? Beautiful school. This is supposed to be the second campus. That's the front doors right there. Academy of Southfield. Detroit, stand up. Detroit stand up. They won $1 million, but I would like to give them a lease to own. They won $1 million, but I want to give them a lease to own. I'll give you $500,000. Let's pay off the rest. Let me hit you with $500,000. I already been inside, brother. I don't need to call the realtor. You wasn't.
No, he wasn't inside that. Again, he was already at $1 million. Why didn't he just buy it outright? It doesn't even make sense though anyway, because he already had these trap bandos in Wilmington, Delaware, that same year that he had acquired, right? Why not take that? Because again, if he's saying he want to pay them a $500,000, I mean he would have had $500K, right? Which makes sense because he should have had at least, after he acquired these trap bandos, he should have been sitting on about $1 million. But let's say $500K. Why did Umar start right away with renovations? Why does Umar take another year and I think it's 6 months before he starts renovations? Because he didn't have no money. He had ran through all the money. All he had left over was $400. Meanwhile, he tells people he purchased for $750,000. But I have the video right here back in 2016 when he said he was at $1 million. Here.
You somebody you don't like.
Let me give me something to drink. I'll be right
and
back.
And a child can't learn from somebody they don't trust. And that's why we're going to build the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RPG International Leadership Academy. And some of my contemporaries are jealous of the fact that y'all helped me raise $700,000 so far. And some of them are jealous of my 6 degrees and jealous that I'm the most requested black scholar on the planet and that I'm cuter than them.
This is the narcissism. By the way, Charlene Bryant, Dr. Charlene Bryant, whatever her name is, she does the same thing with her looks. See, Umar's very conceited and arrogant, and he sees himself as like God's gift to women. I'm not here to speak on I just want to be clear about something, but I think that there's something glitchy in Umar's mind where he sees himself in a particular way, but he's conceited, so he thinks that he can use that against people, just like Dr. Bryant thinks that she can use her perceived beauty against people. It's interesting. It's really interesting. In particular, though, for a man to be talking like that, I think it's unbecoming. I'm cuter than them. What kind of man talks like that? This is all about self-aggrandizing. Umar does that a lot. And Dr., if she is, I don't even think she is one, to be honest with you. If Bryant, I think she does the same thing.
And I'm swaggerlicious with my degrees. But we gonna build that school, y'all. I promise you that. I don't know where it's going to be, but I do know it's coming. We still want St. Paul's College, the HBCU down in Virginia that closed down 3 years ago. They still trying to sell it for $2 million. I don't know why. The school been sitting there.
The starting bid was 2.5, so it's not that they were trying to sell it for $2 million. Cut it out. And this video is 2 years later. He's still talking about it. See, if he was serious, why didn't he focus on the St. Paul's College? 2 years later, and he's traveling around looking at other. Why don't you just focus on that? Because he was never serious.
For 3 years, which means the quality of the upkeep is dropping, which means the value of the campus is low. So let me tell you what I plan on doing. When we cross the $1 million mark, probably around the end of the summer.
And there you have it. That would be the summer of 2016. Then he says that by the end of 2016, in other video that I showed, that's more than enough, even if it's 900,000 to get started somewhere, especially if land had already been donated in 2012 and land had been donated in 2013. Just take the money and go build on the land, but not Umar. because he was never serious. It was always about money, and it still is to this day. Nothing's changed in that those regards. Let me. I want to see if I can.
I done
hear
already
something
been.
right here.
Pay attention. I done already been in this school several times. The point I'm making is they wanted $1 million up front, and I wanted to do a deal. So I'm asking Detroit if anybody in Detroit got some connections.
I'll hook up.
You feel me? If you know some people who know some people, this school is black owned.
No, it wasn't black owned. It wasn't even up for sale. It was already earmarked to be converted into senior living, if memory serves me correctly, something like that. Retirement home, something like that.
This school is owned by black men. Get in
No, he lied.
touch with the owners of the Academy of Southfield.
Why don't you get in touch with them? You said you talked with them 2 years prior. Okay.
18330 Carver. Wait, let me get the right. The address is 18330 George Washington Drive, Southfield, Michigan. If you into the realty business, 18330 Carver Drive, Southfield, Michigan. 18330 Carver Drive, Southfield, Michigan. That's the address. Get on your game. Get on your game. 1833.
The guy that backs, that's no school there. Anyway, so this is just another example. I'm going to give you another one. Not that you haven't seen this, but he would go into random places. I don't even think this is a school. I think this is like a community center. It could be a church. And he just would walk around. This is from February 15th of 2018. No one's showing him anything. He doesn't even say anything. It's like an abandoned building. I mean, it's possible that he just got in. There's no one showing or giving him a tour. But whatever city he was in, he would try to find a building and pretend as if he's pursuing it to get people in that city excited to donate and to come hear him speak. Very manipulative. Yeah, a lot of people haven't seen this video. Yeah, this is like a community center. That's what I think this is. There might have been a window open or something, and he probably climbed. Let me stop. See how he's trying to open the door? He wanted to go out. Did you guys see that? That's the first time I noticed that. Hit the one. Is that how things are done professionally? He's trying to. He don't even have. He can't even go out the door. It might have been a window open or something. He climbed it through. It's ridiculous. Look. See him trying to open it? It's ridiculous. I don't know how he got in this building. I don't know if they got a gas can in the bathroom for. That's crazy. Here you go. I don't know what it is with Umar and toilets, but let's keep going. See, by this time, Umar would have been way over $1 million. Why are you going and walking through these random? Now watch this goofy. Yep, this is the game that he was playing for many years. He did this from 2014 through February of 2019. About a half a decade, and was collecting money the whole time. Well, this one looked better than FDMG, though. We can say that. The one in Wilmington. He don't even say nothing. At least I don't think he does. Man, they got mattresses in there and that. Boy, that's crazy. Oh, this was probably like a daycare center or something like that, like daycare, because they got headboards for the beds and everything. Yeah, he's weird. Okay, he don't even say that in this video. Okay, so I think I've at least proven my case on this. But again, people, it could be argued that he had good intentions. I just don't think that was the case for some of the reasons I've explained already. But thank you for the super chat. I also have to say that at this point in 2021, if Umar had good intentions, he would have stopped this. Excuse me, in 2026, he would have stopped. In fact, I would propose that he would have stopped probably in and around 2021, because the whole situation up there at these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware, he's so he's so far removed from having anything completed, let alone starting a school, having children enrolled, faculty and staff, so forth and so on. But he will keep going with it and extend it as long as possible, because this is his main source of income, and it has been since at least 2014. That's a long time, 12 years. Think about that. If your main source of income is FDMG, getting donations, and it has been for 12 years, what incentive do you have to change? Unless the money completely runs out, and then he'll pivot, which is precisely what he's done with other projects, many other projects in the past. Okay, thank you again. Enterprise says Umar's up there looking like Jabba the Tuna. Oh, yeah, you're talking. We're gonna get back to the main video. Thank you. Let's do these quick, okay? Because we got blowed up. Thanks, Enterprise. Saidu says 2010 post. Yes, you will pay. It's always been about money. You're absolutely right. There's no reason for him to even say that back in 2010, because he says he's going to begin to lay the groundwork in 2010. But he brings up money because that's what this is. This is a good point. I never thought about that. Let's go back. I never thought about this, and I've shown this. I don't know, hundreds. It has to be hundreds of times. So the most important receipt that anyone could ever see is this one right here. He said this in 2010. Promises in 2010 to begin laying the groundwork for the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Pan African School for Black boys specializing in learning disabilities and substance behavior disorders. This would be a private school, and yes, you will pay in order for your son to attend. And the other thing too is it's like a command. Yes, you will pay. That's because it's always been about money. Grand opening September 11, 2013. Okay, it's May 14th, 2026, and not one black child has been educated, and there is no school currently, and not one in sight. And he still collected money. Why? Just like you said, Slide Deuce, because it's always been about money. Good point. I never thought about that, but you're absolutely right about it. Shout out to you for that one. Thank you for the super chat. YouTube to 5 said, what's up, man? Just honestly, Umar Johnson is absolutely boring when he tries to talk politics. He flips positions constantly, dishonest. He's bearable when he talks Shangotology. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. When Umar talks politics, it gets a little crazy. It does. It does. But again, this is Umar. Someone had said this, and I agree. I didn't think of this, but they said that he's talking politics because everything that's going on with Supreme Court, and he wants to position himself so that he gets on these different shows. It's a talking point that he can kind of address, and it's going to get a lot of views. So it's more about clout chasing more than anything else. But he's saying all kind of crazy stuff. Indentured servitude. What is this guy? Thanks you to 225. Somebody say shagotology. Okay, that's a new one. Thank you for the super chat. Also, Slide Juice, thanks again. Listening to Umar is like fun. Yeah, I got this one earlier. Okay, Mr. Maxwell says, will you speak on how FDMG is an oxymoron? Well, it is on different levels. Just the name of it is an oxymoron because Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey, their philosophies were opposed to each other. One was an integrationist, one was a segregationist, in essence. Can't say an extreme segregationist, but segregationist enough. The other thing is that it's an oxymoron because Umar has proposed that it's only going to be for Black boys. Initially, it was going to be for Black boys and Black girls at a boarding school, but he's reduced all this down to Black boys. That's illegal in the United States of America. You can't have a school that only accepts a particular race. You can't do that. It's another oxy. And there's other ones we can come up with, but even FDMG in and of itself, the name. Okay, but again, these are two figures that are important to Umar. Number one, Frederick Douglass, because he believes he's related to Frederick Douglass, but the DNA test showed that he was not. His daddy already talked about that. And then number two, Marcus Garvey is important to Umar because he wants to be Marcus Garvey. That's the reason. In UNIA, when I was talking earlier about how he was trying to seize power and control, and he wanted to be in control of money, he wanted to position himself as the next Marcus Garvey because he sees himself as a chosen one, that type of thing. It's really weird. You know, he's just a bum from Philly that living in Mama Closet, but he still has that mentality to this day where he thinks that he's on that level. So the UNIA was really like a vehicle that through which Umar was attempting to make inroads so that he can have power and control, that he could ultimately become the president general, which is a position that Marcus Garvey held. He's like a child, you know, like a child with a crazy imagination and aspires to be like superheroes or whatever. And in this case, it's Marcus Garvey and Frederick Douglass. But he's not even related to Frederick Douglass, and the only and Marcus Garvey in terms for Umar, he just sees that as I want to become Marcus Garvey because he was the leader of the UNIA and he's done all these different things, and Umar he wants to do all these great things. Thanks, Mr. Maxwell for the super chat. Seth says Umar is a racist Black. okay, all right, Seth, tell us how you feel. Thank you. Cheryl said, what's up, man? Says, so I'll be a slave at Buc-ee's. I don't even know what that is. Oh, no, not that anything, but what is Buc-ee's? Let me see. Maybe I shouldn't look this up. Oh, it's a chain. It's a travel center. Okay. What in the world? What in the world? Yeah, it's a Buc-ee's. It kind of reminds me of what was that called? Chuck E. Cheese. That's what it reminded me of. Well, not a slave, Cheryl second boy. He's saying that you're going to be an indentured servant. That's what he was saying, right? I think that's what he was saying. Okay, thanks, Cheryl second board. He said Buc-ee's. Okay. YouTube device says, I've never touched your XYZ. Meanwhile, he literally starts this show saying a Chatter's girl would be prefer to be sitting on his lap during the stream. Yeah, during the stream. Yeah, Umar, that's not the first time where he's talked about that. He actually has a history of like going in on men and talking about how he's going to take their women from them. And one time he said something where he was telling like this story where the woman was resisting him. Okay, that would be SA. Anybody remember that? Just really weird the way he be talking. Really weird. Anyway, that's one of his go-tos. When he feels offended or he feels insulted by a male, he goes there. And again, people would ask the question, well, if this person, he's supposed to be a school principal, he's supposed to be a school psychologist, why is he even talking like that? And sometimes he gets graphic with it. He starts giving these graphical types of narratives about what he's going to do to other people's women. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Thank you, Jujba. Enterprise says, if we went back on the 13th Amendment, Umar would be Stephen from Django. Okay. Yeah, I watched that movie, but it was rough. It was so graphic. It was so graphic. I only watched it once. I couldn't go back and watch it again. It's too much for me. Thanks, Enterprise, for the soup chat. I appreciate it. Cheryl Secondboard said the best thing you can do when you walk into a building like that is turn around and walk back out. Yeah, so I was showing those buildings. I have more of those. Cheryl Secondboard, Umar, where he was going to these different buildings. Sometimes he would just stand outside, but you can tell that the building is dilapidated and condemned. But he would do it anyway because it's a way to again extend this scam indefinitely. Other times he would actually be in the buildings. The one building where the floors was all crazy, no one should have been in there. No one. And not just because structurally there's some problems, but also that's all water damage that's created that. So you know that there must be mold, mildew all over. They should not have been. No one should have been inside of that building, period. But Umar would do anything to extend the scam. And that's precisely what he was doing right there. That one video I showed you guys where he doesn't say anything, I don't think he even had proper access. I would not put, and listen, I don't know this as a statement of fact, but I would not put it past Umar. Wherein he sees a building and it's abandoned and it looks like it could be turned into a school. He'll get out of his rental car and walk over there and see if he can get up in there. I would not put it past him. You know, a side door open or a window half open that he can climb through, and he gets in, he allows him, act like he's looking at this. But ain't nobody else sitting there, just him. He trying to open up that one door. He can't even open up the door because he wasn't supposed to be in there in the first place. Just something to think about. Okay. But yeah, that one building, there's no way. I wouldn't be up in there. I wouldn't have anybody up in there. Thanks, Cheryl Secondboard. Derek says, who's more of a doctor? Oh, I got that one earlier. Okay, thank you so much. Cheryl Secondboard says, it's 600 miles from Wilmington to Detroit. Is it? Let me see. Yeah, you're right. Man, you know what's crazy? I didn't even think about this. So Umar, if I go back and I play that video where he's in Detroit, it's actually not Detroit. I can't remember exactly, but we're gonna say Michigan. When he's out there, he's trying to act like he's going to open it. That's going to be the second campus. How's Umar, logistically speaking, going to manage a building in Wilmington, Delaware that's going to be a school, and another building in Michigan that's going to be a school, and it's 600 miles. It's a 600-mile drive. How is he going to manage that? He doesn't have a team, so he's going to have to be principal for both places. Logistically speaking, it's ridiculous. I didn't even think about this. But he does it anyway. Why does he do it? Not because he's actually looking for a school up over there. He did it because it's another way to try to get money out of people. Plus, he was speaking in Chicago. Excuse me, he was speaking in Michigan. And he did this for almost a half a decade, wherever he would go, including to the UK. I have a video where he's talking about, yeah, we're going to have FDMG in Manchester and FDMG in London and FDMG in Wiltshire and all this other stuff. He was international with it. Meanwhile, logistically speaking, it's impossible. He can't even get one school started up there at these trap battles in Wilmington, Delaware, after 7.5 years. Not 7.5, 7 years and 3 months. All right, thank you, sir. Second more. And then Abdul says, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much, Uncle Lenon. He cannot afford a parking space and can't afford Delaware. Just another nature boy warmed over, but he better not Detroit. Okay, so Detroit don't play. There's a difference though between Nature Boy and Umar. There are a lot of similarities too. Both are narcissistic, both are scammers, both are abusers, both are master manipulators. Both are cult personalities. The thing is that Nature Boy had a physical cult. It was an actual physical cult. Umar's never had a physical cult per se. He's had a virtual cult. The closest thing that he had to an actual cult was the I can't remember the name that he was given this. It wasn't a book club. They were studying Pan Africanism. Someone in the chat remembers what that was called. The Tip to Griff was part of that, and Sharon and a couple of other people. I don't remember if Big Am. I think Big Am was gone by then. But that was the closest thing that Umar Johnson had to an actual cult. It could be argued, yeah, Francis. It could, and thank you, Afrocentric woman. It could be argued that was another kind of a cult where the people would come after he purchased these trap vandals in 2019, and they would come up there. You know what? No, Umar, he had a physical cult. It just wasn't as well organized, and it wasn't as centralized. I'll say it that way. Yeah, I have to reassess this because he did have a physical cult. It's just different iterations, not to the same level as Nature Boy, but it is a cult when people pay Umar monthly to be part of the donors club, and then what that it gets them as a reward is they get to come to paint for free. And they have to pay their ticket, their plane ticket. One guy flew out from California all the way to Wilmington, Delaware, and he was a loyal donor. He's donated monthly. That's cult shit. So let's be real about this. Listen, I have to reassess now that I think about it, because Afrocentric woman, that is true. I hadn't thought, because now when I think about when Francis was up there and all those women were inside of that gym, that's a cult. Some of them women he was running through, all of them he got money from. He executes power and control. If you can get people to fly out from other states to come up to these trap bandos, ain't even no lights on up there. This is dilapidated trap bandos then and today. That's cult control. So no, you're right. Let me just say, because I was trying to make a distinction between, there are still differences, but no, essentially, Nature Boy had a physical cult that was more centralized, whereas Umar had a physical cult that was decentralized, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. Wow. I have to reassess that. Now that I think about that, and I can pull up the video where they were in the gym. It's true. It's so true. Thank you, Abdul Latif. And then when he would have them come out and paint for free, that's double slavery. You got to pay to come paint for free. Okay. Thanks, Abdul. Jay Civic says he can't stop. He gets the adulation and money. Yeah, part of it too. It's not just the money. It's a good point. It's not just the money. It's about the adulation. Part of it too is Umar he's attention seeking. So anything that can bring him attention. That's why oftentimes he says things that are way over the top. He does that because he knows it's going to get attention. That's not uncommon for people to do stuff like that on social media anyway. Skip Bayless. He said something about LeBron being the 7th greatest player or something crazy, and I said, this guy, but he does that to get people riled up, and so people will tune in and listen to him. But that's not true at all. Okay, Umar's the same way. He's a contrarian, but he's a contrarian for a reason. Part of it though too is a lot of what he does is because he wants praise, he wants adulation from his followers, but that's not uncommon for cult leaders. That's why people can't clown Umar without Umar going off. And I'm not trying to compare myself to Umar, but I don't have an ego like that. When people clown me, whatever, I go with it. We have a good time. I ain't got time to get mad at nobody. At my age, well, look, I could be dead in 15 minutes. Real talk, I'm just being honest. You never know. So let's have a good time, okay? Even if it's at my expense. Okay. Anyway, Umar, the adulation is really huge for him. It's not just the money, it's the adulation, the praise, but that feeds his ego. He has a massive ego. He's conceited, he's arrogant, he has narcissistic personality traits. In my opinion, he's a sociopath, borderline psychopath. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, to paint for free. Boy, anyway. Okay, thanks for all of the super chats. We're doing good on time. We're gonna go for another 30 minutes. I want to play, because someone had asked me to play it earlier. And we won't get to the whole video of Umar from a couple of days ago, but on Monday, we'll finish it up for sure. I want to play you guys just another example of Brother Polite. Remember I showed the video where Umar was in Michigan pretending as if that school, it was for sale, pretending as if he had been in communication with the owners and that they were black. None of that's true. And he comes up with this whole story. Well, Polite was doing the same type of thing, okay? If you notice, he never have strong black men. Never. So he's always had males who were like yes men. I want to say pick-me's, but that kind of sounds kind of weird. But yes men, do whatever Umar Johnson says. They big him up. They give him praise, give him adulation. That's the kind of males he had around him. He didn't have like real men because real men we would check each other, and it's in a respectful way most of the time. We would check each other, but it's nothing to be disrespectful about or anything like that in most cases. Some people take it. I'm talking about just if you're civil about it, because some people are not. But Umar, he doesn't have strong men around him. He has, yes men, and he has younger males who they're just trying to find their way. Some of them, they ain't got their daddies around. They see Umar, okay, y'all do what you want to do. All right. You get misguided by the snake, the great deceiver of our time. But he does not have strong men around him, men that would hold him accountable and check him in the proper way. And even when I say that, that doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be done publicly. Okay, he doesn't have that. He don't deal with men. He deals mainly with single mothers and women, random women who are in desperate situations or who are desperate. All right. Thank you for super chats. Thank you for all super chats. Let me play this, y'all, because this is another example of these scammer types.
We live. I'll find out right now.
By the way, Polite's in jail. He don't get out until 2030, I believe.
Put it on me. What's up, family? We up in here. We in Columbus, Ohio. I'm with the king right here. We had our real estate company, our development company, making it happen.
He doesn't have and didn't have a real estate company or a development company.
So right now we're working on a 26 unit project here in Columbus, Ohio with the very
just lying, just like Umar. It's the same thing.
The unique thing about it is we're using cargo bins to build them. And we're going to explain the science behind that. And you're going to see what we're talking about. We're talking about cargo bins to build buildings. This is a pioneering venture. This is something that's not being done throughout America. You see these right here? We're using these giant cargo bins to build properties. Look at that. Yes. And what's happening is it's cutting the time. So literally we can get the chassis of a property built.
He means to say chassis, but this guy, he's just making this up.
Inside of 5 to 8 days, in contrast to a month and a half to 2 months that it normally takes. The chassis, by chassis we mean framework. So we get the frame of a house done inside of 5 to 8 days because we're using these cargo bins that no one does anything.
Yes, my brother.
With. No one knows what to do with these after the fish comes into the country, after the purses come into the country. These bins are huge. And then after they get used, they just stay there. They're not biodegradable. So because they're not biodegradable, they just stay here and take up space. So what we do, we recycle these bins and we create properties. And what it's doing, these bins cost us about $1,700 a bin. So we're cutting the cost of building a property by 70%. So we did a single family household, 2-3 family household. We're saving 70% of the money that it normally costs to develop those type of properties. So right now we're in talks on working and getting the investors to get a factory. However, we're contracted by the state.
Factory? What are you talking about? And he's contracted by the state? Cut it out. This guy was so broke, but he pretended, just like Jay Morrison, pretended to be something that he's not, just like Dr. Bryant, just like Umar.
To be able to get this popping. So take a look at this. This is powerful right here. This is real talk. And what we'll be doing is providing jobs. So stay tuned on here. So
this is the selling point, that he's going to provide jobs for black people.
We can let you know where to reach out. Matter of fact, you go to Young Phenom 45 for now, but we'll create an official email.
Okay, why don't you already have an official email? Where's the website for this? It doesn't exist because he has nothing to do with this project.
For those of you that are neighboring or just can travel to Ohio and you need the bread, jobs are going to be available for you, starting at $15 an hour upward.
Listen, he's making this up on the spot.
Jobs will be available to you. Okay? So there's plenty of bread in this for everyone, especially if you're in the Ohio area and you need to make some money. Reach out. And housing. So this is the plan.
See? Job, housing, and money.
This is the way we got to do this. Okay? This is the way we got to do this. We're going to put this together and provide an opportunity for you all to make your money. So to build the property, come here real quick, my brother. Let's just talk this real talk. It'll cost like about $6,500 just to build the framework for a property.
$6,500.
$6,500 just for the framework for the property. After that, it's just water and electric, basically.
That's all it is. HVAC. $6,500. I hope you listen to what I'm saying. It'll cost $6,500 just to build a property as far as the framework is concerned using these bins. And this is not something we're talking about for the future. You actually see it, but we're going to give you a tour. We're in the newspaper for this. I wish I had the newspaper article.
Yeah, he's not anywhere in that newspaper article. In fact, the company and the company representatives that are part of this, managing this project, they came out and gave a public statement and exposed the truth that Polite has nothing to do with this whatsoever. He actually had to get online and apologize about it because they were, from what I remember, they were going to sue him.
You got it in your phone or something? Okay, so we'll go across the street hopefully during the stream so we can show you how the news had picked it up. So now the state of Ohio has contracted us to put in pain. The banks is down, everybody's supporting now. So all we need is that factory and it's gonna get ugly.
Real ugly.
But right now, this is a 26 unit that we work.
Real ugly. So cool.
Working on right now. And yes, the jobs will be provided, the most important part. So my hands are getting cold. We're about to get some work in. We're about to get some lighting done. So let's get it in. Of course, I'm with my Beanie Baby. Look at my Beanie Baby. She is definitely a Beanie Baby.
Yeah, this is the young lady that he got arrested with in Los Angeles because they thought that they was out there. She was out there on that corner selling it. Yeah.
Victoria Lamar. She got boots on the ground, getting it in.
Yeah.
Woo! Thank you, my hands. Yes, this ain't Beverly Hills.
No, I know.
This is not Beverly Hills.
It's snowing too, y'all. You see it?
I told you it's gonna be bad.
Oh yeah.
You did.
Nice
You
and
said
warm.
yesterday it was good, but today it was gonna be cold.
Oh man, it definitely got colder.
Makes it all worth it.
I'm good. Bro.
No, yeah.
Oh, man,
You
I
need
like
it too.
That. That's dope.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that grinding.
This right here. This training.
I'm good, bro. I like this look. Probably when I get a little colder. That's love, though. My man always showing love. All right. So
Come on, y'all. Have you learned how to bid?
we out here. Oh, come on. Leave the spades conversation alone for later. They still, they actually them shit out of it. They was there for last night. Yo, we took on the championship last night. Don't ever get it twisted and think we ain't working with each other. You know, we critique each other heavily, but we still put in pain.
All right.
Always remember that.
The dream team, all right?
Dream team. Flip the angle, baby.
Okay.
Make sure we give our brother Precise love and business. Yo, Precise, let them know where they can find you.
Precise Photos on Facebook.
This is a good brother. Right, he's from out here, Columbus, Ohio. He's helping us do some film work. He's very professional. So we got him on deck to help us out as we're documenting what we're doing. But this doesn't stop, bro, right? We got libraries on deck, right? We got residential properties on deck. It doesn't stop. And we're revolutionizing how to erect. We're revolutionizing how to erect these properties. And like I said, it's so cost efficient. This is $1 billion industry waiting to happen.
I didn't tell you they bought the church. The church sold out. They got this property right here they bought. This whole lot over there they bought. And 9 houses. I'll take you down there on this street right here. I'm gonna take you by where I bought the shovel for. Yeah. 9 houses on this street down here. We doing that. This right here, we doing this one right here is next. They tearing out the church. They got this property over there.
That's the next property right there.
Church is going.
The church is going. We're building another property. So like I said, libraries, everything. But the thing is, no one can deny this because the cost efficiency. These are bins. These are cargo containers. You feel?
You notice how he's not giving any specific information. It's all like cosmetic, what he sees, not what he knows. That's because he's not part of this whatsoever.
These are some giant joints when the fish come into town. When the
yeah, but let me show one other thing though, because he gets on this. Hold on a second. Let me just play this part.
Now.
Oh, baby. Yeah. So right now,
oh, shoot.
What you want to give me, baby?
Right on.
I should go to the other side because he's gonna be there. Okay. Oh crap.
Yeah.
The future, the right now.
Right now we about to get these lights on up in here.
We're going to
See, he don't know what he's doing. It remind me of Umar.
the 3rd floor of this.
We're going to the 3rd floor and then
See how he looks lost?
I'm gonna control some of the narrative and shit.
That's right, Christopher. The future is now.
Watch yourself, my brother.
Right.
See, he don't know what he's doing. He's pretending.
Yeah.
Look at him. You don't know what he's doing.
Some more.
So you see, hit the gas. This is the gas right here. You're gonna hit this, you're gonna hold this before you make any decisions. You're gonna lift this up. You wanna come closer, guard? So before you do whatever you do, you're gonna put your foot on the gas right here. Boom.
He's figuring this out as he goes along.
Now when you do that, you're gonna lift this mechanism up. Boom. And this is gonna change the wheels. If you look at the wheels over there.
That's right, Devin.
Okay. See the wheels changing? So right now I'm using this handle. I'm pushing the top of this handle to control the wheels.
All right. This guy, yeah, OSHA, boy, this is OSHA regulation, all problems all over the place. Okay. All right. Let's get back to it. We're going to go for another 15 minutes here. JCSU says he can't stop. He gets oh yeah, I got this one. Thank you so much, JCSU. Abdul says, if you notice, he never, yeah, I got this one too. Thank you. Leonard, explain the Messiah complex in Umar. Yeah. No, I have specific videos where he talks about how he's the chosen one. He's the Black Christ. He's the Black Messiah. There's other things he said too. In fact, I have a video that is going to be going up over the next couple of days that gives a few examples. But in my notes, I've taken meticulous notes on this. I have specific areas where it alludes to, it shows Umar with the Messiah complex, the God complex, where he believes that he's the chosen one. It's so ingrained in his mind. Instead of saying that he was born on Jesus's birthday, he says that Jesus was born on his birthday. Because he says, according to the Erasure Bible, Jesus was born on August 21st. And Umar was born on August 21st, 1974. So yeah, he really believes that he's special. And he said, another thing he says is he calls himself RB Jesus. You know, like RBG, but he says RB Jesus. He calls himself that too. And other stuff too. Yeah, he has a Messiah complex. He thinks that he's like this savior figure, that he's here to save Black people. He also has this sense that he's being persecuted, and that he has to. He says it in his letter of resignation from the UNIA, where he has to martyr himself. Even the terminology that he gives, he's a martyr. He's like this some sort of Messiah Christ type figure, and he has to. I think he says something. I got to. Sacrifice myself on the cross, something like that. Don't quote me on that. I can pull it up and see and find it. But he says something to that effect. But this just alludes to this notion that that he's some sort of a Messiah. He believes that. There are a lot of cult leaders who think that way. Polite had his followers believing that he was God. Okay. Well, Umar has that same cult mentality, right? Cult personality. He believes that he's a sort of Messiah complex. But he's a Messiah. I have different examples that I have in my notes. Thank you, Abdul. Abdul also says, when you use a camera phone, something's, yeah, I know that's another thing. There's a lot of issues with the video that we saw where Polite is on that site. A lot of OSHA regulation issues there, violations, but also when Umar's inside of these abandoned buildings and he's walking through. Okay, one of those buildings he shouldn't have been in the first place. Again, if he was really serious about this, he would have a professional camera crew come through with him and do a full tour of these buildings. And then they would go back and he would, and his team, if he had one, and they would assess based upon the video evidence and based upon him physically being there. In most cases, they would have a group of people that would walk through. They would have the whole team, but because it's only Umar, see, none of this is being done professionally. None of it. It never was done professionally. It wasn't even for him to acquire these trap banners in Wilmington, Delaware. I have the walkthrough video from 2017, camera phone, same thing. Then he purchased them in 2019. But it's not as if he has a team that's looking over this. Okay, structurally, how are things going? Is asbestos, he's lead paint. He said ain't none. Okay, what exactly needs to be repaired? Umar still doesn't, that's another thing. Real quick, then we're gonna move on. Umar still doesn't know what needs to be repaired in full up there at these trap banners in Wilmington, Delaware. He's never provided an itemized list because he's never gotten an itemized list. He's not serious. He don't even know what needs to be done. He's just done a few things here, a few things there to give the illusion of progress. Meanwhile, he continues to collect money. And this is the formula for Umar. Give the illusion of progress, give excuses for delays. It's always someone else's fault because someone else is always sabotaging him. He's the Messiah and these people are persecuting him, but he's gonna somehow make it work. That's not good intentions. That's diabolical. And he continues to collect money. Okay. Thanks, Abdul. Okay, let's get back to the main video.
Black America is going to look totally different. Phenotypically and politically. And let me say this to the white Democrats. Oh, let me say this to the black Democrats first. I got a message for the Congressional Black Caucus.
He's always disparaging black people.
I have a message for the Congressional Black Caucus. We're going to finish at midnight. I got 20 minutes. I will finish on time.
No.
I got a message for the Congressional Black Caucus. I feel sorry for y'all. I feel sorry for the Congressional Black. I feel sorry for y'all. You know why? Y'all sat back and let the Democrats conspire with the Republicans. I'm talking to the Congressional Black Caucus right now. I'm talking to the Congressional Black Caucus right now. I'm talking to those 59 Negroes on Capitol Hill whose job description I would like to know because they've done nothing for us this century. But I want to say this to the Congressional Black Caucus. You sat back and you let the Republicans and Democrats strategize to take away voting power from predominantly black districts, and you did nothing about it. You did nothing about it. And now your job in Congress is under duress. You are at risk of losing your seat. Some of you have been there since I was a little kid. Some of you have been in Congress since I was a little child. It's the only job you've ever had. It's the only thing you know how to do. And now you are about to get put out by the same Democrats you've been helping to get reelected year after year after year. Once they split up Memphis, and once they split up New Orleans, and once they split up Shreveport, and once they split up Baton Rouge, and once they split up Charleston, South Carolina. And once they split up Columbia, South Carolina. And once they split up Rock Hill,
this guy,
South Carolina. And once they split up Jackson, Mississippi. And once they split up Biloxi, Mississippi.
All right, we get it.
Once they finish slicing up all the predominantly black districts, you will not have enough black votes to get reelected to Congress. Y'all thought y'all was so smart. Y'all thought y'all was so smart working with these Democrats, and look what they done did to your ass. The reason the Congressional Black Caucus is tripping out right now is they know that this racial gerrymandering of predominantly black voting districts is going to get them elected out of office. And it is all their fault. So let me ask the Congressional Black Caucus this. Let me ask our black congressmen and women one simple question. will the white Democrats in Congress go to their white constituents and beg them to vote for your black ass? I'm going to ask the question one more time.
There you go.
Since y'all part of the Democratic Party, since y'all all part of the colorblind Democratic Party, I got a question for y'all. Get off. This is a zesty fester. Oh, my goodness.
Here you go.
So, black congresspersons of the Democratic Party, do you think you can go to your Democratic colleagues and ask them to go to their white constituents and beg them to vote for a black person in Congress? You know that's not going to happen. You know there's not a Democrat in Congress that is going to go ask white people to vote for your black ass. I know you know that's not going to happen. You got elected because you come from a predominantly black voting district. Let me say it again. You got elected because you come from a predominantly black voting district. Let me say it one more time. You got elected because you come from a predominantly black voting district. Now that they done gerrymandered your predominantly black voting district and attached it to a much larger white voting district, who is going to vote you all back in office? White people are not going to vote for y'all, and y'all know it. So you know what that means. If there's 60 U.S. congresspersons, there might only be 40 of y'all November 3rd. It might only be 20 of y'all in 1 year, and the Congressional Black Caucus might not even exist in 2 years. Did y'all hear what I said, brothers and sisters? Brothers and sisters, are y'all listening to me? The Congressional Black Caucus might not even have enough people to sustain it in 2 more election cycles. By the time y'all vote for the next president in 2028, by the time y'all vote for the next president in 2028, how many black congresspersons will still exist? Of those 59, how many will we have after November of 2028? How many are we going to have after November of 2026? And it's all their fault because they betrayed us to the white Democrats. The black Democrats betrayed us to the white Democrats, and now you don't have enough black votes in your own district to stay in Congress. And none of those white Democrats who you've been helping get reelected on the black vote is going to go out of their way and ask any white people to vote for your black ass. I am so embarrassed for us right now.
He's so dramatic.
I am so embarrassed for us right now. I cannot believe we allowed ourselves to get put in this position. And let me say this. And I know the Democrats ain't gonna like it. And I know the Democratic Party plantation slaves ain't gonna like it. But let's be honest. Democrats don't care about black people. Republicans don't care about black people. The only difference between the Democrat and the Republican is the Republican don't need your vote. The Democrats do. That's the only difference. They don't care about you. They care about your vote. And I need black people to make a distinction. I need black people to make a distinction. I need black freedmen to make a distinction. The Democrats are paranoid, not because they care about you. Didn't Bill Clinton lock up more black people than any president in American history? Did not Wild Bill Clinton? Didn't Wild Bill Clinton lock up more black people than any president in United States history? Did the Democrats do anything about that? Did the Democrats do anything about Wild Bill Clinton filling up the prisons with black people? No. No. They don't care about black people. They care about the black vote. There's a difference between caring about black people and caring about the black vote. The Democratic Party don't care about black people. They only care about the black vote. And do you know what's really making me upset right now? In my last 13 minutes, let me tell you what's really making me upset. I'm seeing black journalists, so-called journalists, run around telling black people.
JCSU says, I don't wish it on anyone, but if jail is in his future, he would just be in the yard still being Umar Johnson and preaching and still getting praise. Yeah, the same thing with Polite, because I've seen some videos that have surfaced. Is jail in Umar's future? It's possible. It's possible. I've said it before. I've said it years ago that it would have to come via it would come to the IRS unless he does something illegal that he gets caught for, just in general, like but I'm talking specifically dealing with the tax situation associated with FDMG. There is a case that could be had already with this guy. He didn't file proper paperwork for 2015, 16, and 17. And then of course, he didn't get tax exempt status again until 2020. It's not retroactive. So in essence, it starts in 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. So it's really, I think there's only 4 tax returns that are available. And there should be another one becoming available soon if he actually reported to the IRS under his nonprofit. If he was ever audited by the IRS, it would be a open and close case. It would be so quick. Okay, they would just audit his GoFundMe, his PayPal, different PayPal, because he's had 2 different PayPal accounts associated with donations for FDMG. So GoFundMe, PayPal, CashApp, checks and money orders that go to his P.O. box. You can't really track the cash, Plum Fund, and anything else that I'm missing that he's used over the years. All of his bank accounts, all of them. And if they subpoenaed all of that and did a full financial audit, they'll see that there's at least $1.2 million missing, at least bare minimum $1.2 million. I can give Umar some grace, at least $1 million that's just disappeared. And people say that's a lot of money. Well, again, he starts raising money specifically for the St. Paul's College in 2014. So we're talking about 12 years. If you take $1 million and spread it out over the course of 12 years, it's not that much money. Right. And then, of course, he had land that was donated to him, according to him. Okay, well, where's that land? How much was the value of that land? That would have to go in there, too. The land that was donated to him in Africa, the land that was donated to him, based upon his own words, in San Bernardino, California, and the land that was donated to him allegedly, because he lies all the time. He never provided any proof. But let's go with his word, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You put all this stuff together, and then you can look at where money is going. Are there any offshore accounts? Is money going over to Africa? He doesn't have a job. So where's all this money gone? Well, it's fraud. It's wire fraud. He's also using the nonprofit. So it's really so that he doesn't have to pay taxes on the money that he receives. But if he's using the money, and he's using the money for personal reasons, not all of it, but most of it, but he's collecting it under a nonprofit. Okay, there has to be some sort of law against that, where you use a nonprofit to collect money and it's tax-free, but then you spend it on yourself and you're not paying taxes on it. So yeah, that would be, I think that would be the route to if Umar ever found himself in jail, unless he gets caught up on some other stuff like, normal day people stuff, Thanks, J Civic. East Point, and we're going to go here for another 12 minutes, okay? East Point says, Umar comes up with the conspiracy to cover up for not actually paying attention to congressional activity. Democrats and Republicans don't vote the same in Congress. Yeah, he's just running his mouth. I don't think he keeps up with stuff. Again, I'm not into politics, but if I listen to him, just as someone who has some sense, I can tell he don't know what he's talking about, because it doesn't even make sense. The other thing, he's all over the place. Remember before, he was talking about how you won't be a citizen, you'll be a denizen, and then he starts saying that you're going to be an indentured servant, and then he was saying you're going to need to get your passport so that you can go to another country. What does that got to do with it? He just anything. He just throw stuff together. But again, because of everything that is going on, dealing with the I can't remember what it was called. Someone had talked about this, I think, 2 live streams ago, and they broke it all down. I'll just reiterate what they were saying, but I don't know the exact terminology. But he's blowing stuff out of proportion. A lot of it is just fear mongering, and that's what Umar Johnson does. They had stated that Umar is using this as to clout chase, this topic to clout chase, so that he can position himself for interviews, so that he can go on different platforms that will have him and talk about politics. Not that he's been following any of this closely, but he's using this particular issue, voting rights, as a way to clout chase. That's what they explain. I think that is what Umar's doing. Okay, thanks East Point for the super chat. Yeah, and the other thing too, Umar, he's still a conspiracy theorist. I was a conspiracy theorist too, so I understand, Umar in terms of what he's attempting to do. It's just that the dots that he's connecting, they're not connectable, but he does it anyway. See, a lot of the conspiracy theory stuff is about connecting dots, and some of those dots don't actually connect. Some of them do, but there are a lot that don't. Well, none of this is connecting with Umar. He actually sounds like he's crazy, but that's Umar. Okay. Thanks, East Point. Cheryl Second Boy says it's so easy to talk about that 94 crime bill in hindsight, but that bill was supported by 59% of Black Americans in the Congressional Black Caucus. Keep it real. The streets were crazy in 94. Yeah, that's true. They were crazy in the early 90s and also in the late 80s. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, wasn't Hillary Clinton part of that 94 crime bill? Because I thought she's the one that was calling black up. She was saying they was using this term super predators or something like that. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, she was a strong proponent of the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994, commonly known as the 1994 crime bill, which was signed into law by her husband, President Bill Clinton. While she did not vote on it at first as First Lady, she publicly advocated for its passage to defend and defended its tough on crime measures, which included the 3 strikes rule. I remember the 3 strikes rule came in, funding for 100,000 new police officers and money for prison construction. Yeah, I remember them days. Yeah, the language, super predator. In 1996, while campaigning for the bill, Hillary Clinton used the term super predators to describe certain youth offenders, a phrase that later drew significant criticism and was accused of racially profiling minority youth and reported by U.S. Today. Yeah, I remember all this. Yep, I sure do. Yeah, I remember that super predator. The thing is, too, a lot of that verbiage, it's not that it's written by script writers. It's all part of the propaganda thing. They have this whole propaganda machine that goes into this kind of type of stuff. And there was a lot of propaganda dealing with the same thing with, and I don't mean to go here, but remember Osama bin Laden? There was a lot of propaganda about Osama bin Laden that was out there in the news for a long time. I remember, I think it was Colonel Powell. He did this whole presentation. I think it was him, and they were saying that Osama had this bunker, and that it would open up. It's like in a mountain, and it would open up, and they would drive vehicles in. All this kind of stuff. Kind of find out none of that was true later on, but it was a good. It's like marketing war, but it's all propaganda. I can speak on this stuff forever because I was deep into like media mind control and how media manipulates people. Thanks, Cheryl Second Boy. But I remember this. I sure do. Rated R for Robin. Do you know why, or have an idea why the people that were once around Umar aren't around anymore? Yeah, I and there's a lot. We're going to finish we're going to end right there with that video, but with our remaining 7 minutes, I just want to talk about this because this is a great topic to talk about. There were a lot of people who were around back then. Real quick in the chat room before we get up out of here, put some names, and they're not around anymore. These are people that were there in the early days that were staunch supporters of Umar. They defended Umar. They would go at Umar's critics. They would get online and lie about people who were criticizing Umar. They would threaten people who criticized Umar. They would show up when he would have different, it's not even events, like the anti-protest, paint day, They were in the gym when he first got, not when he first got these buildings, but he would give tours to these people and they would come through. A lot of those people aren't around anymore. Yeah, one of the primitive people was Tiff the Griff. Yeah, she's not around anymore. She spent a lot of time lying on people, spreading rumors about me and my wife, but not just me. That's not personal. It's just other people too. All in defense of Umar. Umar didn't like her, but that was the irony of it. But she would send Umar money. But Tiff the Griff was one of the people that was around. She's not around anymore. Another person is I don't know whatever happened with TCT. He spent a lot of time lying on people and lying on me too, especially the rumors about me being gay and stuff. D. Durrell, yeah, he's facing criminal charges now. He doesn't defend Umar anymore. Zora is another person. Hanera and Sharon, they're still around. So there are a few people. Yeah, Don was a defender of Umar, and they had a falling out. There's a whole lot of people. Yeah, obviously Sister Avanti, but I don't think Sister Avanti was around like that. What's her name? Big Ann McMillan. She's not around. A lot of those women that were in the gym back in the day that would support Umar, they're not around either. Now the question becomes, why aren't they around? I think there's different reasons why they're not around. Some of them, they really believed in Umar and they believed that he was sincere and that he had good intentions. There's still people who believe that. Okay, people are entitled to their opinion. But see, what happens is over time, what tends to happen is that time tells the truth, and over time, information, evidence, proof comes out. Even their own personal experiences, they start to reflect on their personal experiences. Some of the women who are like the women that the randoms that Umar would be picking to deal with, and then he just, after a while, he just discards them. At a certain point, they realize, okay, I wasn't special, right? There are people who donated. They kept donating, and they see that there's still no school here in 2026. Not one black child has been educated. And they realize, wait a minute, it's all wasted money, but he's still collecting money. Why would I continue to support this guy? So they fall off. Some of them he done ran through. Promise, yeah, you're going to be the next wifey. And they believed it. They gave up the draws. And then they realized, wait a minute, he's doing this with hundreds of randoms out here. So I'm not defending this guy anymore. Some people, it just looks bad. If they're on social media, they're defending this guy, and then they got family members, co-workers checking them up. What are you doing? What, you don't see this? Blah, blah, blah. And then they fall off. And then a lot of it is Umar, he's a user. He'll use people up. And he'll get whatever he can out of them. And they think that somehow they're special and they're doing something noble. But then when he gets what he wants, he discards them. Come to paint, send in the money for the lawyer donors so that you can come paint for me for free. Paint these buildings for free. That's double slavery. And he uses people like that. At a certain point, people say, hey, wait a minute. Something's not right about this. And they fall off too. Some of these women, they thought that they were going to be able to get with Umar. He probably said, yeah, I'm looking for 2 wives. Yeah, okay. And so they follow, defend him, to attack people that the critics of Umar. But then so they realize that because time always tells the truth. And then that's when they fall off. You don't see them around anymore. There are a few that are still around, very few, but not like it used to be. Nothing like, because in other words, people wake up and it's inevitable. See, can you imagine, this is going to be the last point, 5 years from now when Umar's still talking about this FDMG and all the problems and why it hasn't opened yet, but still donate 5 years from now? How many people who are donating now in 2026 going to be like, hey, wait a minute, this ain't, yeah. It's inevitable because time always tells the truth. I've been saying that. I coined that phrase many years ago, and that is the truth. It could be 1,000 years ago, the truth is going to be told. One way or the other. And the truth has been told about Umar. He's a scam artist, a con man. He don't care about other people. He don't care about black people. He always talking trash about black people. He sees human beings as a resource, like a narcissist does. And whatever he can get out of human beings, in particular black people, and more specifically single black mothers, he's going to get it. Whether that's money or the cooch, he's going to get it. And once he gets what he needs, he's done with you. Some women, because their standards are so low, they'll keep up with it. They know that he's scamming, but they benefit. They're getting money coming through Sharon and Nara. They got money coming through to them. Let's talk about it. They don't care. They don't. It's not like they got to work for the money. Umar ain't got to work for the money. It's just a scam. Dr. J. Morrison's wife, she knew what was going on from the beginning. You think she didn't know? But she benefited from it, didn't she? Well, this is what has happened with Umar. Most of the people have fallen off. Very few are still around. And the ones that are still around and are behind the scenes, never were really out there in the open, but have been benefiting from it. They don't give a shit. They didn't care back in 2014. What y'all think? Why would they care in 2026? Not one black child's been educated. They don't give a shit about nobody's kids. Cut it out. They don't care about black people either. Because if they did, they wouldn't be living like this. Umar, Jay Morrison, Polite, Nature Boy, and the list goes on and on and on to the break of dawn. So these are just some of the reasons why a lot of people aren't around. He screwed over a lot of people too. Promised them money, didn't pay them. He screwed over a lot of people because that's what Umar does. That's why he don't have a wife. That's why he don't have a family at the age of 51. That's why he don't have friends. Think about it. I have the video, and it's very telling. He says he don't have no friends. He has his mama. I don't know what else to tell y'all. This Umar shit got so bad. You're right. It was getting blocked. It was getting blocked of channels because you were getting blocked. I was getting blocked on channels because I'm a because I'm a Cookie Crush Chat mod. Max Smoke and a couple other clowns. This sector hates. Why though? We have such a good time. You know what I'm saying? We do. We have a good time. We don't be messing with nobody or nothing like. I mean, we talk about Umar, but listen, I don't watch people. I haven't for years. I don't watch other people's content unless they ask me to. Like, there's been times where Information Man said, "Hey, listen, you gotta check this live stream. I'll check it out. That's the homie." But I stopped watching other people's videos years ago. So whatever got going on, whatever all this ain't got nothing to do with me. We have a good time. And we do. We have a good time. All right. Thanks, Black Wolf. Yeah, Black Wolf been around a long time. Okay. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, let's close this out. Cheryl Secondborn says, GTD. What does that mean? What does that mean? Hopefully it ain't nothing crazy. Let me see. GTD. You know I don't know this kind of stuff. Oh, getting things done? Is that what you said? I don't know, because I don't know this kind of stuff. You know, the different things. My wife told me years ago that I need to take emoji classes or something like that. No, he said got the draws. Did I say that? I didn't say that, did I? Is that what I said? I don't remember me saying that. Got the draws. Okay. Thanks, Cheryl Secondborn. And then also thanks, rated R for Robin. I appreciate the super chat. And then also, again, thanks, Cheryl Secondborn. Okay, let's go ahead and close this out. Next week, we'll get to this whole video at some point. It's just he's talking about everything and nothing at the same time. That's Umar. I want to thank everyone for tuning on in. I don't think I said that. If I did, I apologize. Okay, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Anyway, okay. The final tally on the poll question is: Umar stressed about FDMG. 77% said yes, 23% said no. Thanks for everyone who voted on that. And our goal was 400 likes. We are at 396. So we need 4 more to get to 400. Can we make it happen? Cookie Crush Chat. I hope so. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed the show. If you haven't hit it already, we'll be back unless Umar does something real crazy over the weekend. And I hope he does it because we're behind. I won't be live streaming until next week. Okay. And we got a lot to still get into. We're behind, and Umar knows it. That's why I think he's doing this too. Now, I'm just playing. I don't think he's trying to sabotage. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. Okay, everyone, thank you again for tuning on in, as we always do.
Oh my gosh, so you're fancy, huh?
Yeah, black community activist. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Well, good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
See your eyes shining
He said I say that all the time. Oh, okay. I apologize. I'll say it again. All right, can we get the 400? 395. Thank you all so much. 396.
Everything's so right. Got that smooth soul feel. No, that's
Yeah, good night, everybody. Enjoy your evening. The rest of you. Yeah, good night, Larry. One shot, Jamie Coco, shot to Coco. And the puppies. Black Wood. Laura, Patriot. QB. Afro City Woman, thank you so much. Maka. Yeah, I remember that, Jimmy. The Cherry Hill Mall. Yes, sir. Yeah, take it easy, got Kilo. Ever fun, 6 extra 20 on there as always. Key Logger. Thank you so much, Key Logger. Yeah. Yeah, everyone have a good weekend. Have a good weekend. Hey, what's up, your kids? We'll see this. Yeah, good night, Jimmy. This is one rush. Okay, all right. Yeah. All right, top 3. Yeah, it is. It's hilarious. Here comes the HVAC. Y'all remember the HVAC saga? Hit the 1. Yeah. What's up, Yellow Man? Ernest Brown. 44 riding. 110. Yeah, there's that HVAC saga. Y'all remember? That was crazy. Yeah. All righty. Thank y'all again for tuning on. Yeah, that HVAC saga, that was crazy. Anyone was in there, was around back then when that was going, I mean, that was wild. I remember I did a skit where I had on like I had a hard hat and a little vest thing, the reflector vest and hammering it, and I was doing like this like the HVAC was being delivered. Well, that was crazy. Okay, that's good old days. Okay, thank you guys so much. Please enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks to the mods too for handling business. Again, I got to clear out the mods. A lot of people there. I gave yeah, HVAC, yeah, that have mods wrenches, but they're not around anymore. So we don't really have a lot of mods. So I'm going to take those wrenches away at some point, and then I'll hand them out to other people. It's just a matter of time. Thank you guys again for tuning on. Thanks to the mods for handling business. Everyone for tuning on in. If you hit that like button, thank you so much. Also, thanks to everyone who sent in super chats or super stickers. I really do appreciate the support. Okay, I do not take it for granted. Lord, give it. Lord, take it. Okay, I'm very appreciative. Have spirit of appreciation, and stay humble. Okay, humbly. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. Okay, Cook Rich, that's undefeated. I'll see you guys next week. Y'all take care. Peace.